All right, we are live.
What's up, everybody?
What's good?
This past, no more mock drafts. Everyone's all the dust is settled. The picks are
Zach
in.
Wilson's a New York Jet. The day has
That
come.
was expected. I think the draft started at 3.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But the only I love the draft. It goes by so quickly, and now we have to wait all the way to July just for training camp news.
Do you think we'll get any trades in June, though?
You might get those couple veteran releases, but I don't. It's gonna be a while.
The Rodgers trade.
Let's see Aaron Rodgers to Denver, bro. I want to see it.
Well, what was the other team? It was Denver was the favorite, and then who was the other ones? There was another team that was next in running behind Denver.
I only seen Denver, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I want to say it might have been. Oh, damn it! Who was it?
Was it? Well, San Francisco called, but then they told him basically no, straight away.
Honestly, it might have been San Francisco.
Yeah, so I know San Francisco called, but then obviously they just drafted Trey Lance.
Denver's obviously the front runners if that happens. But like we said, me and Ryan, we talked about this for every single quarterback, whether it was Stafford or whoever it is, for years to come, that whoever's most favorited and ever ends up getting him.
Yeah. And why would the Packers trade him now? If they were going to trade him, right, it would have been on draft day.
Why would it's because they don't want to now.
I mean, I can kind of see them
in general. He's
trading him on draft day because this year was kind of a throw up based on just because all the times are off just because of COVID and whatnot, and you don't know what was really going down, so the prospects were a little bit harder to judge.
Yeah, I don't know. Thinking take a first round pick this year, take Denver's 9th overall, and then 2 more first round picks next. Could
have gone that way, but I don't know. I think they're also getting to the point where we don't want to trade him yet. We want to see if we can reconcile, but
I don't think he's getting traded. So at least not this year.
Dude. I don't think there's no reconciling that situation anymore.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Because a lot of teams. I mean, I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but just going into the season, a lot of teams have it figured out, or at least have an answer for this year.
I guess, but if you look at teams that aren't doing great at the quarterback position right now, and Aaron Rodgers is on the board.
It's only really Denver, right? For
I'm really, really surprised that Washington didn't make any quarterback move.
Yeah, I guess Washington could be the other team because they didn't really do it.
They made no moves in the draft, which I'm surprised. I thought they would take maybe a 3rd round quarterback or something.
They got Fitzmagic and Heineke.
Yeah, they're confident in them, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a handful of teams that could really use Aaron Rodgers right now. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm just saying because
every team in the league could use Aaron Rodgers outside of Mahomes, and.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's an upgrade no matter where you put him outside of the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, the Pat Mahomes.
I'd still take Aaron Rodgers over those guys, but besides Mahomes, but over Josh Allen, whatever, it just makes sense, obviously, with age and contract that you take.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole age thing, you're not going to get rid of your future franchise for maybe 5 or 6 more years of good Aaron Rodgers.
I don't even think he's going to play that long. If he was contemplating retirement now, I don't think he's going to make it to Brady's age playing in the NFL. Not because he can't, but because he won't want to. We're not going to see another Brady like that. Nobody's going to be playing until they're 50 years old. Brady's going to go till he's 50.
On the TB12 diet.
I don't know what that is. That man's just built different. It's not even his diet. It's his mental.
No, I mean, it's his diet too. He's definitely excited.
No, I know, but he has the urge to keep never stop.
But speaking of the draft class, let's just hop into it. Before we go over every team, was there how did you guys feel the draft went overall? There was a lot of.
What I liked about it was, usually every year in the draft, the poverty franchises, the Detroits and all that. No offense to the Jets, but the Jets are at the bottom of the league the past however many years. Those kind of franchises usually have bad drafts. But I really think that all of the known bad organizations, Cincinnati, those kind of teams had great drafts. So it's good to, have the bad teams brought up more.
It's funny. I was actually going to mention that, but not the Jets because I'm biased. But obviously the Jets with McCagnon and Idzik.
No, everybody though. The Jags, Lions, Bengals, they all had great drafts.
We'll get to them, but I was super impressed by Detroit. They're one of my favorite drafts.
Yeah.
Well, they were just in the situation of my team's horrible. We're not going to do nothing if we even make certain picks. So let's just go best player available at every single pick, which good for them.
They landed some impact players from day one. So, but anyway, we'll get to them when they're up. The Cardinals. This is always a team that drafts super weird. I didn't hate their draft class. Like I really liked Zaven Collins. It was a little bit like early for me, but I do really like the player. It's just, you did draft Isaiah Simmons last year and didn't really know what to do with him. So like, it's not really against Collins. It's just like, what are they going to do with Simmons this year? Like I know
Play him
Collins,
at safety probably.
but I don't know. I do really like Collins. I was a huge fan of Rondale Moore. I know Peter, you weren't, but like I love him in this offense.
Mine is just for injury concerns.
Yeah, and I don't really like Cliff Kingsbury. I hope he just gets fired after this year, so they can actually have
He
like
probably
a
will.
offense. Yeah,
The problem that the Cardinals did, I think, this year was they went for positional need
yeah.
more so than
tell
they did best available.
they did
and
not have player available. Everything in
Yeah,
here is
in
for
the NFL draft, I'm more best available kind of like that. I'd rather my team draft like that.
Well, it depends. It depends what kind of situation your team is in. Like the Cardinals are in a situation where they kind of want to contend. So I kind of get the filling out of every
But
position.
they're treating it like they're right there, and they're not right there.
No, of course they're not
They're
right
going to be
there, but-
better.
No, they definitely did get better, but I'm just saying like it makes sense to draft the positions you need over like the overall superstar on the board.
I would have just liked if they traded down to get Collins. I feel like he
Yeah.
would have been there in the 20s.
I personally would have taken a tackle at this spot. I was surprised when I actually heard Collins' name called. I was like, wow.
But
Like,
I'm not
Derek-
gonna lie, I was higher on Collins than most people. So I actually do really like the fit. I do think he's gonna make like a pretty big difference from day one. More, it's all gonna be about the injuries. If he's healthy, he can make a big difference. And my favorite pick for them is actually round 6, the corner from UCF. I feel like he might actually start for them day one, which is crazy, or at least make an impact. So I'd give them like a B, maybe like a C plus.
Yeah, I gave him a B.
I'm more in the C plus range, but if you guys want to go B or B minus or something like that.
I'll go to C plus. It's really only because like a lot of the players they took have injury concerns.
And
Yeah.
I think they were a little bit
Rondale
of
Moore
reaches
doesn't
for where
fit.
they went.
If Rondale Moore doesn't hit, this draft class is not looking good. But if Rondale Moore hits, because like, what do you guys consider before like we break down each team, right? What do you consider like a successful draft? Because I look at it as like 3 starters and like 1 or 2 like contributors.
Yeah, that's fair to look at it. I also
like-
look at value
yeah.
too.
Like
where
2
you
to
took
3
people.
starters, 2 to 3 rotational guys that like can go in a few downs a game and put in work for you.
Like Marco Wilson's going to see the field, but how effective is he going to be?
I actually like him. Like his speed kind of concerns me. But
But that's what I'm saying. Look at the division you're in,
yeah.
right? So
Then again, if they do find like, because I feel like because we know their secondary is not good, right? So they're going to be throwing in Wilson. They drafted Wiggins too, so like they did their best to address the secondary. So hopefully one of these guys makes like a big difference.
yeah, not the best, definitely not the worst.
All right, so we're putting them in the C because we don't have like pluses, but this is really like a C plus. Okay, Peter, Atlanta Falcons in your division. I know they took one of your favorite players.
Yeah, I was a Richie Grant guy, so I'm a little bit biased towards this draft class just immediately off that. And then you throw in Kyle Pitts and then even Jalen Mayfield. Like I wasn't even as high as Mayfield as other people are, but getting him in the 3rd round, I thought he was a solidified 2nd round pick. So for me, again, I'm looking at value. I'm looking at where you grab people, right? So I'm not going to butcher the name, but the edge defender that they got at pick 182
Yeah.
from Notre Dame, he's a really good player.
Mhm.
They had a really good value picks. So for me, this is there are some really good draft classes by teams. So I don't want to say an A, but realistically, a lot of the people they drafted are going to be starting. So I'll go B, like B plus, but there's no B plus. So we can put them in B. I'm fine with a B plus. I don't know about you guys.
I gave him a B plus. I think they absolutely nailed the first 3 rounds, especially, Kyle Pitts, whatever, you throw him in at the tight end spot. But I think now with the Julio Jones rumors going around, hopefully you get Julio out of there. You can start just running a thing of Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts as being your main receivers. That would be crazy. Even picking up Richie Grant. I know Peter was crazy on Richie Grant.
He was my number 2 safety in the class.
Yeah, where were you guys picking in the 2nd round?
The Saints?
Yeah.
Late. We were like 20 picks later. We were picking at 60.
Geez, that's tough.
Yeah. Richie Grant went early,
Yeah.
dude. So
And then the Mayfield thing, though, the only thing, he probably won't play tackle. I was looking at it a little bit deeper because you guys were telling me he
it's probably going to be a guard, but still.
But either way, it's still
your
like
job in the NFL
value.
is to get your first 3 rounds, nail them.
Mhm.
And I think they nailed their first 3 rounds.
Yeah, and I actually think Mayfield's going to start probably at left guard. So like that's a
Yeah, for
plug and
sure.
play third round pick, which is great. And their offensive line, I know they have addressed it in the past with like high draft picks, but it hasn't all come together yet. So maybe Mayfield will be that like the last part of the glue for them. Yeah, I give them a B plus. I was really impressed with their draft. I mean, if Pitts is a Hall of Famer, then it's going to be an A or an A or A plus. But other than Pitts, of course, like Grant, I really liked. I know Peter, that was your guy, but once we started watching him after you, um, and they needed safeties. You know, like Atlanta lost Neal, and I feel like he's going to be a different kind of safety than Neal. Like Richie
Yeah,
Grant.
he's not that kind of box
Yeah,
kind of
not the box
linebacker
safety. He's gonna
type.
be like the single high, which is gonna, I love those type of safeties. So, and I actually really liked. I know you mentioned the edge rusher from Notre Dame. I feel like he'll make a difference too because Atlanta's pass rush isn't like very good right now. I actually like Frank Darby. I know they don't really need wide receivers, but like I feel like he might be a situational deep threat who might make a difference.
Well,
Like
he could see the field if Julio's not there by, September.
I think Julio will be. I want to see a year, just one. Give me 1 year of like Julio Jones, Kyle Pitts, and Calvin Ridley because I don't know what secondary is stopping that. So
You don't.
okay, who's up next? The Baltimore Ravens. What are we thinking?
So a lot of people don't like the Rashad Bateman pick.
Really? I
don't know.
For them.
People have not liked that pick. I don't know. They were saying go Elijah Moore or go something, but it's like you already have an Elijah Moore kind of guy in Malcolm Brown. So I don't understand why you don't go Rashad Bateman. Someone go up there, grab the ball out the air, like someone you basically needed, like a true wide receiver one. And I'm even huge on the Owe pick. I think they're gonna make Owe like, he's already a super fast, super big guy. Really kind of lacks like skill, I guess, at the edge rusher. Like he doesn't really have like skill moves, but what better team to teach him than the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, looking at their draft, and this is usually what I always think of. Like they always seem to get like, even if it's situational players. Like I really like Tylan Wallace too in round 4. I like that they double dipped at the wide receiver position. I mean, I really like Bateman, especially for the Baltimore Ravens specifically. This is the type of receiver they need. Like you mentioned, they have like Hollywood Brown already. Like they need an outside receiver, not just like Sammy Watkins, who's like you can't really rely on. So I'm glad they double dipped. They're definitely like improved their offense. Even Ben Cleveland in round 3, I felt like he was pretty good value. I don't know how well he moves though. I don't know if I love the fit here, but I feel like Cleveland is like a good player, and to get him in round 3, possible starter, is phenomenal. And Owe, I was really curious of like where he landed, but like you said, like Baltimore's the one of the few teams I trust that can actually develop the talent because he is a super freak athlete. So, and
I almost
want to give them an A or like an A minus, kind of like B plus A minus range.
I'm more in the B range. I like their draft class. I'm more in the B range because this whole draft class depends on if their players hit, right? So Bateman, I think, is a slam dunk pick, right? There's no way he doesn't have a productive career in the NFL, especially for what the Ravens need, right? Owe is going to be a great pass rusher. Obviously, he's going to see the field all the time since, the Judon departure and the Ngakoue departure. And then even Ben Cleveland, I know how you said that, like, you don't know schematically how he fits. I thought he was a decent fit schematically for what they want. I thought there was better offensive linemen available at that pick. But for what they do and, like, the system kind of, like, pulling that they do as an offensive line to one side, like on their bootlegs, let's say for Lamar or whatever, I thought Cleveland, like, that was like a pro kind of like aspect.
Did they take him over Davis?
I don't remember if Davis went before or after 94. I just know that I did like offensive linemen better that were on the board, but I'm assuming that they think Cleveland could do stuff better than other guys that, what they wanted to do. Like you said, I like the receiver that they took from Oklahoma State. I thought he was like double dipping at a wide receiver because they need the depth. Honestly, I think a slept on pick was the round at the end of round 5. I think it was Shaun Wade. He had a really, poor year this past year. And again, we don't know if that's because they moved him to outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
But 2019, when he was playing primarily like slot corner nickelback, he played phenomenally. So if they keep him as a nickel from round 5 to have a starting, nickel who's going to be, I think he could be really good if he just stays in the slot and you get that value at round 5. So I like that. So I'm in the B plus range, but more so B just for the fact that it depends on, how Cleveland turns out, how Sean Wade turns out for me, because I know the first 2 picks were slam dunks, but again, those first round picks are supposed to be.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with you. I'll change it to B. Really, only because it's almost like I got too excited that they double dipped at wide receiver because of how many years they ignored it for Lamar. But
Yeah, I give him a B plus. But yeah, you guys can convince me on B.
banking on like slam. We're also slam dunking almost that like always a hit. Because like right now he's not. Like I mean, he could be. I think he will be.
I get it.
We're
We're
just
betting on
assuming.
potential since it's there.
So, but still, like a B is a good grade. B plus. That's a good draft class.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
And they address their needs, so it was a win-win for them.
Where is Baltimore? Do you see them? Oh, here they are. Okay, the Buffalo Bills. I'll start. So I really do not like Rousseau, but I do trust Brandon Beane and like Buffalo. Like they've drafted extremely well, and ever since they've been there, they've done good things. I really liked Carlos Basham in round 2. I thought like he was an earlier day 2 pick, so I really liked the value there. And then they drafted a bunch of like high athletes, offensive tackles. Like Spencer Brown is like a freak. So Buffalo, it's really gonna all be on Rousseau because obviously they didn't really have a lot of like picks because it's round 1, 2, 3, and then it's all the way. Then it's all day 3 picks, so no round 4. I like their draft. I just don't love it. Like, I'm probably in the range of a C plus, and it's really only because I had no interest in taking Rousseau in round 1. I know it's like it's pick 30.
They were afforded that though, because when you look at the Buffalo Bills, like what holes do they really have other than running back?
I honestly thought secondary just because of what happened in the championship game, and then they didn't take a corner till round 6. Like outside of Tre'Davious White, I just don't love like I love their safeties like Poyer. I just like who's playing outside again? Is it Levi Wallace? Like I feel like they could have done a little bit better there. But obviously Buffalo played like they always play the value game, so I'm assuming they had Rousseau ranked pretty highly. But just like my personal opinion, I just did not like Rousseau. I understand like he's probably going to play a little bit more like inside than like an actual pure edge rusher. That's probably where they're going to play Basham. It's just like a little bit weird to me because like they have Jerry Hughes on one side, and I know he's older, so like they're just kind of planning for life without him. It just like these 2 players in particular are like totally different than Hughes.
Yeah, I'm with you in like the CC plus kind of range because again, I wasn't high on Rousseau just like you. And Basham for me, like it's not that I don't like him, but he was a round 2 talent, right? And that's where he
like
went.
Basham better than Rousseau, to be honest. So
okay, so again, that's preference, but they had a plan, right? So their thing wasn't okay. Let's just take because like Markello said, they have a really filled out roster. They have one of the better rosters in the NFL, so not that many holes. But they're a smart front office. They knew what their holes were. And I agree with you. I think they do need more secondary help, but they're like, we need edge pressure and we need better offensive line tackle play. So what did they do? Their first 4 picks, first 2 went edge, next 2 went tackle. So they just wanted to fill those 2 needs. They thought that was the most important. And look, maybe they're confident in their corner room. I don't know.
They must
I think it could have used something. I'm sure there are still free agents that they could pick up, like not big names, but somebody they could bring in. So
they pick up
again. They were the team where they were like, okay, these are our next 2 needs. We were a game away. Let's just address our needs.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the draft. Like they took.
I mean, look, I gave them a B minus just because. Look, they took their shot. I think, like Ryan said, if any team is going to get like a good out of Rousseau, it's going to be the Bills too. Yeah. I think they have a plan for him. They don't make that pick without like some kind of plan for the future ahead. Even Carlos Basham in the second, I think I liked him as a first round guy. Okay. I remember like I had him mocked in a few mock drafts here and there, but either way, I think that's still really good value. And then you pick up Spencer Brown as well.
Yeah, so that's really the difference between like our C plus tier B minus. It's really where how you rank Rousseau and Basham as players, right?
Yeah,
I'm with Markello where I had Basham. That was a first round pick, but like an early second to mid second. And I actually really like Spencer Brown in round 3 like, at the end. He's a super athlete. So he might even kick in the guard. That's why I'm not like trashing their draft. I'm just saying like it's really Rousseau.
No, I don't think it's a bad draft. It's just they had a plan going into it.
Weighing it down for me. And just one more thing before we move on. I would like to see them take a running back. Like I don't think like I know a lot of people mock Najee Harris and ETN all to them. I just would have liked to see, and I didn't want them doing that. Well, I mean, a Jet fan, I didn't want them doing that, but like just as a neutral. Like, I don't want really teams taking a running back in the first round. But like to not come away with any kind of running back is like, I know they're putting a lot of confidence in Singletary and Zach Moss, but like I feel like they should have added one more, someone like who has like pure speed. Like that's my only other knock with the Bills.
I thought that would have been. I had every mock draft I made. I had them taking one of the two running backs, either Najee or Travis Etienne, because I thought that was a huge need for them. Like their offense was really like.
Yeah. To their credit, though, like neither of those players fell to them in the first round. But like just talking about the rest.
No,
of
I thought they were going to get. Yeah. I'm not even allowed to. When I saw them go Gregory So round 1, I was like, all right, day 2 they're going to take like Javonte Williams if he's there, or like
somebody,
Michael Carter.
Because their offense was predictable last year. That's what ended up killing them. It was either the ball was going to Stephon Diggs or Josh Allen was really going to take it himself. So I thought adding that element of a run game is what would have brought them over the top. So look, I'm more
taking Michael Carter in that situation. I still would have been okay with that.
Because you gave him B-, Markella, right?
Yeah, you put him in a C if you guys want.
I'll give him C+. C's a little bit like not. C's bad. Like regular C's bad. C+, like they still have players who are going to contribute. The Panthers. This team draft this looks like a Madden draft. Like when you create like your mock draft for your team, like this is how usually it plays out. I really like Carolina's draft. Like Terrence Marshall at the end of second round was crazy value to me, one of the best value picks in the entire draft. And it wasn't even necessarily a need for them too. It just like adds further to their offense.
They needed that kind of receiver though. They did need him.
Yeah. I would have liked maybe Rashawn Slater at 8, but I'm not going to complain about Horn. Horn was my personal cornerback 1 in the draft. So like, I know it was kind of a surprise pick, in the first round because a lot of mocks didn't have him here. So I like Horn a lot. I think Carolina, they went all defense last year in the draft. I feel like Horn's going to be just another addition to that core. And I really like Tommy Tremble. He was one of the players I wanted for the Jets. So super jealous they got him. They don't even need a running back, but Chuba Hubbard can fly. Like if he hits, I don't know how much he's going to play with McCaffrey, but like if the hole's open, Hubbard's going. He might take it all the way to the house. And even their like day 3 picks, like Shi Smith was there. I thought he was like a 4th or 5th round pick to get him in 6. I know Deontay Brown has like weight concerns, so like you're gonna see how he actually moves, but he didn't give up a sack in his entire Alabama career. So if he's even a 6 offensive lineman to get him around 6, I think he's gonna be a good run blocker either way. We just don't know if he's gonna be like a full-time starter. So Carolina they're definitely one of my A's.
Yeah, I was teetering between A- B+ for them. I even like the Brady Christensen pick in round 3. I know he's a little bit older. He's like 25, 26, whatever, but the guy played like phenomenal at BYU.
Nixon too in round 5 I feel like he's going to make like 30-40% of the snaps playing. So
yeah, I know I talked to Kello about this, but Ron, I haven't talked to you yet. Carolina was like one of my top 3 favorite drafts that they had, because
I could see
look at all the talent. I'll go through it right now, but they were also trading back throughout the draft. So they have more picks for next year, and they still have, again, J.C. Horn. I understand we wanted Slater. I thought Slater was a better available player, but just watching, being in the division with Carolina and seeing them play all the time, their problem was on defense too. They had a lot of problems on defense, but the main one was they didn't have the right personnel to play primarily man kind of scheme. They play primarily zone coverage, right? Mm-hmm. And they would just get picked apart because you're in a division with Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees. They've all seen it before. They know how to break these coverages, and that's what would happen. So you bring in J.C. Horn, you could start bringing in more man packages, maybe some more dime packages, right? So it just adds another element to your just defense in general to be able to start calling different plays that include man coverage. Terrace Marshall, I love I thought he went at perfect value, right? And a day 2 kind of pick because they needed that outside receiver, right? So you have Robbie on one side, your deep threat. DJ Moore can play outside, sure, but him in the slot is nasty. And now you have Terrace Marshall playing primarily, like left side of the field, your big body, 50-50 ball. Darnold's going to love that kind of player. We already know I love Terrace Marshall for Darnold, whether it's back shoulders or just on the sideline kind of passes. Tommy Tremble, I wanted actually the Saints to get him later on. I thought he would have fell more because he's that kind of player that like New England would want, right? If they didn't sign Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, Tommy Tremble would have been the New England kind of guy. You could put him at fullback, just a big buff guy. He wasn't used a lot in the pass game, just for the way that they used him. It's not that he can't; he just wasn't used that way. So I like him for that. Chuba Harbor, like you said, he's definitely going to be second seat to McCaffrey. But if McCaffrey gets hurt again, I'm confident in Hubbard taking on the role. And then my favorite pick, I know you could say Shi Smith, which is a good value for the 6th round. I like Deontay Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive human being on your offensive line playing guard for Alabama. That man is huge. What was his? I forgot his measurables. He's like 6'7" and he's like 300 pounds. That kid's crazy.
No, he's more than 300. I think he's like 330.
Yeah, he's around like the 320.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
So I love everything about this draft class. And I love when teams take like long snappers in the 6th round, because a lot of times 6th and 7th round picks don't even make the team. So just improving special teams in any way, shape, or form, I love.
Did you see that phone call from the long snapper? I seen the video.
I didn't.
Okay, so Matt Rule called him, and I guess he was with his agent thinking like, oh, like teams are calling me because I'm going to be undrafted to try to sign me. And then Matt Rule surprised. He was like, nope, you're going to be a Panther. And like he was like super. It was like one of those cool phone calls that you just like listen to. So
yeah, this was an A+ draft for me. And that's coming from a Saints fan. I give them an A+.
Markello?
I'm probably going to go with an A.
Yeah, I gave him an A too. But like it's still they're one of my favorite draft, definitely my top 5 draft class. So I feel like they just built. I felt like I liked their draft class last year too. So like I feel like this year might even be better than last year. So like whoever.
We're gonna get into this like in a few months, or actually not even a few months. Next week they're coming out with the schedule, so we could talk about it then. I have the Panthers making the playoffs.
Well, that's gonna be interesting. I got to see the
As
schedule.
A wild card in the NFC.
The thing is, like, I like the Carolina roster. I'm not trying to be funny here, but like, I can't see Sam Darnold leading the team to the playoffs.
I know that's just because you have PTSD from the past few years in New York, but that Matt Rule built, and it's just like what could have been if like, nothing against Robert Saleh now because I'm happy he's in New York, but if the Jets signed Matt Rule back in the day a few years ago, it would have been very different.
Yeah, but
he's building a team.
I know, but
a really good team.
I mean, I might be wrong for saying this, but I almost prefer to be in the situation we are in now because
no, that's fine to think. I'm just saying Matt Rule.
Yeah, it's not even because of the coach, because Carolina is building something special. I do believe that. It's just like what happens when Joe Brady leaves and like your quarterback Sam Darnold next year.
That's going to be the thing. Right?
I'll take Zach Wilson. I'll take Zach Wilson as a prospect over Sam Darnold. So the Chicago Bears, so they're not going to have a lot of like quantity, obviously, because they're picking around one. They traded up 2 times.
They have quality though. They got quality.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite drafts. I love Justin Fields. Like Peter was over my house for the draft. I believe a lot of teams messed up. I do. Like I was really considering him for the Jets. Like it was like I had Zach Wilson above Fields, but not by much. So to get Pace and Nagy, we knew were like on the hot seat. So like I figured they were gonna trade up. I didn't know for what quarterback, but like
once this was perfect how it all fell for them.
Yeah, and like even to get Tevin Jenkins in round 2, I think there was concerns coming out like about his hip, but like just the player himself, like I felt like he was clearly a 1st round pick. I thought he was like top 20 talent, to be honest, in my opinion. So I really love those 2 players, and even Herbert, the running back in round 6. I know they have Montgomery, but I do like him.
He's fast. He's good. He's a good component to David Montgomery because David Montgomery's not fast, so Herbert will bring the speed.
Exactly. So I feel like that's another like so like 2 clear starters, right? And not even just starters, like clear upgrades. Like we're looking at Chicago's offensive line. Jenkins is probably the best player, honestly, as long as he's healthy. At least 1st, 2nd best player on the line right now. And Justin Fields is going to be the best quarterback the Bears have had since we've been alive. I don't think it's not a high bar really much, but like
I think he has the potential to be the best quarterback that they've had in their franchise history.
Yeah, I wanted to say that. I just didn't want to like go all the way. But
no. I'm not saying he will be. He has the potential to be.
Even Daz Newsome for me is like in rounds. I liked him a lot. So,
and considering their wide receiver corps is only down to was it Darnell Mooney and Allen Robinson?
Yeah, there's not much out because they were trying to trade Anthony Miller, right? But nothing.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. He might be like a training camp release. Like I don't want to say a surprise one, but like since he's on the trade block, no one probably bit, and then he wasn't traded on draft weekend. He could definitely be. I don't think he's like in favor with Nagy, so like he's definitely in the doghouse. So like Daz Newsome might actually be starting as like week 1 or at least like early in the season. So
if Rodgers leaves Green Bay, this is Fields' division to have for the next 10 to 15 years.
Well, we're gonna get to them, but the Vikings, I really love their draft class too.
I know, but unless you think Kellen Mond is better than Justin Fields, I'm just saying he's going to be the best quarterback in that
Oh,
division
yeah,
for years
yeah.
to come.
We got to see what the Lions do too after golf. But yeah, Chicago, I'm really just giving an A, and it's really just for Fields and Jenkins. So
I gave him a B plus.
I'm in the A range. I'm sorry. I don't care if they only had 2 picks in the whole draft and they took Fields and Jenkins, I would still give them an A. And then you add Herbert and they had a backup tackle on top of it. I don't know. It's again, your draft class is going to be defined by your first 2 to 3 round picks, and I think they nailed it.
anyone see the Bears here? Oh, right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
next
right
to Bengals.
All right, so that rounds out to an A minus because of you, Markello, but they're in the A range, which is surprising. The Bears are one of the teams who don't really draft well either, especially under Pace and Nagy. So the Cincinnati Bengals, this is definitely one of the most like debated between.
No, I don't
Yeah,
care what
and I don't know
anyone
why.
says. I don't care
Right,
what
so-
anyone says. At pick number 5, that was the perfect pick.
Okay.
Oh, you
I thought
switched
you were gonna
over now.
disrespect it.
You switched over to Jamar.
Nah, yeah, dude, that it makes too much sense. You know what I mean? It makes way too much sense.
Here's my only issue with it now. So now that we know what happened, right? So all my mock drafts, I had Chase going there. I just figured the Bengals weren't going to pass on him. And I really love the player. Like, I have no issue with Jamar Chase. Like, that's an A plus pick, probably A plus pick. Just Chase has been one of the best receivers to come out over the last few draft class. It's just like taking Jackson Carman at 46. It's like, this is the big move we're going to do to help.
I'm higher on Carmen than other people. I had him rated high as a tackle.
I don't know. I
As a
don't
right
like
tackle.
it. So,
There were
I
definitely
love-
other guys on the board.
yeah, same thing. I would have traded down.
But even I like their 3rd round pick, Joseph Osai.
So do I.
That's
Like-
a steal. Steal and a
Like,
half.
He was heavily mocked in the end of first round, early in drafts. I know he kind of fell out toward the end, but I thought like definitely round 2, like mid to late round 2. So I feel like, and they definitely needed edge help. We know
Even
that.
Cameron, even they double up and go Cameron Sample as well. I like that pick.
But to be honest, like I'm giving them like a C plus B minus. I don't love their
Oh.
draft. This is one of the. This is
Whoa.
yeah. I'm on the other like end of the spectrum for
What's
the
good
Bengals.
with you, guy?
And I know Chase is gonna hit, so like it's gonna be like, how am I gonna turn a star wide receiver? It's really because like I don't like what they did with the offensive line after that. They took one offensive lineman. Like the Bengals going into the draft, right? Where would you rank their offensive line? 32, 31?
But yeah, bottom 3 teams in the league for sure.
They added one tackle, no guards, nothing. Oh, one center in round 6. But like
They had
I
gotten
love
Riley
that center
Reeve.
though. Trey Hill, I thought was going to go in like the 4th round.
Yeah,
maybe earlier.
they'd
He
also
went in the
gotten Riley
6th.
Reeve in free agency. So like they kind of did their little. They did
No,
like their little
that's not-
Giants slash Jets rebuild of the offensive line. Like we signed some guys. We traded
disrespectful.
out of words.
Even to the Jets, like at least last year we took Becton.
Yeah.
It wasn't a finished product, but like
But look how many years it took the Giants and the Jets to actually like decide to invest in the offensive
no,
line.
it's fair. But like what years were our quarterbacks coming off a torn ACL because
That's
of the
true.
offensive line?
That's true. You got me there.
Like that's all I'm gonna say. Like Chase, and it's not because of Chase. Like I said, Chase is gonna be a home run pick. We know like Chase is gonna be phenomenal. It's really just because of the Bengals' direction and the division they play in. Like they're playing serious pass rush every like Pittsburgh. Like we know that, and like I just don't know. Even the Browns, like the Browns are one of my favorite draft classes too. Like I just don't know how the Bengals are gonna protect the quarterback again. Like I have like their wide receiver is gonna be a problem, right? We know that. Like Tyler Boyd. T. Higgins was phenomenal, right? I mean, I'm even excited for Mixon to come back healthy. It's just like, I just don't know how they're going to compete in the division again. I don't think they are going to compete this year. So
I see what you're saying, right? But and I was for the longest time saying take Sewell at 5, take Sewell at 5. But then when you mocked it out, it made more sense to take Jamar Chase at 5 and then the best tackle available in the 2nd round, because the drop off from wide receiver was just too much for me compared to the drop off at tackle. I'm higher on Jackson Carman. I thought he's a
but you
starting
wouldn't
right
like
tackle.
Higgins got taken at 39. You wouldn't have moved up to the Bengals.
No, look, I get it. I would have,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I still think without doing that, like I still like Carman for who he is as a player, right?
Mhm.
And I understand you had the need on offensive line, but they went best available, and I think they nailed the best available because I'm looking at Jamar Chase home run. Carman, I get it's some people like him, some people don't. I'm in the camp I like him, right? Osai, for the value they got him in round 3, I thought he was a 2nd round pick, right? Cameron Sample, round 4 edge rusher. I think he's going to be similar to what they have in Trey Hendrickson. Then round 4 Tyler Shelvin from LSU. This is another big body guy. This man is same thing with like we were talking about Deontay Brown on the offensive line for Alabama. This guy is like 350. He might be more than 350 pounds. Like he's gonna be in the middle of the defense and nobody's gonna get past him.
Yeah, that kicker they drafted as well is like nasty.
Yeah, look, a kicker's a kicker, but
No.
I don't even hate the kicker pick. There's been a lot of issues in the league with kickers and special teams. So like if he's the answer, I'm not hating on that pick. So
yeah. Besides that point, but Tyler Shelvin, I had him ranked as I have to check. He was my third or fourth. Yeah, I think third or fourth favorite tackle, defensive tackle in the class. I love that pick. I thought he was a round 2 pick, and he went in round 4. So I love that. Right.
So you're way better on the draft than me, clearly.
Yeah. So we're a different end. So the kicker, like you said, a kicker's a kicker. If you need the need, you need it. Trey Hill, again, I thought it was a 4th round pick. I loved him. I forgot what I'm going to look right now where I have him.
I did like the Trey Hill pick. This was a good pick.
Yeah, I had him ranked as my 4th. Yeah, my 4th or 5th favorite center. And then Ryan, I told you before the draft started, my favorite sleeper in the whole class was running back Chris Evans from Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you that. And they took him in the 6th round. I don't know why Chris Evans didn't get the playing time in Michigan. I don't know if it was off the field stuff, so I haven't looked into it as why he didn't get playing time. But whenever he was on the field, again, the numbers won't be there because he wasn't getting the touches, but that guy's electric.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's a chance. I think they're going to give Joe Mixon, obviously, the starting role because you don't hand it off to a 6th round running back. But if Joe Mixon doesn't work out this year, like I think Chris Evans is going to be more productive than Jeremy Hill was for them a few years ago. Right. So
what are you giving them?
Me personally, I was in the B+ camp. So I guess this comes to Markel to average it out.
Me as well.
So B-.
Yeah. So in the B range, I guess. I love their draft class.
Yeah.
They had I personally
like. I think they did really well.
Yeah. See, I don't hate it. It's just like, I'm definitely not as high as you two.
I get what you mean with the offensive line thing, but they went best available. And I think they nailed the best available strategy.
We'll see. And I was a little bit more like, besides the offensive line, like I know they lost William Jackson. I feel like they didn't. I know they added a couple corners in free agency. I would have, but then again, I don't want to just reach on players, and I didn't really like the cornerback class, so I can't even complain.
But that's what their mindset was. We're a bad team. We have a bad roster. We're going to go best available every pick we have.
And I was in the Chase camp. Like that's not my point. It just like after that, I just didn't really love how they addressed offensive line.
Yeah,
but
so it's just difference of opinions.
Cleveland Browns. I think we're all going to agree on this one.
Yeah, I don't even think we have to waste time on it.
Ever since Andrew Berry's taken over, he's done like a phenomenal job in terms of value, in terms of getting impact players, and I think he nailed the draft once again. JLK, I know he fell because of like a heart issue, but I think
he got cleared by like doctors.
Yeah, so that was a really weird fall for me. I felt like he was better than some of the players taken in round 1 at his position, and then especially in round 2. So A+ pick. Greg Newsome, I know he also deals with injuries, but I just love that player. I was very high on him if the Jets stayed at 23 as a possible option. So they're going to be I'll give them
Schwartz as well.
And I honestly like Anthony Schwartz from Auburn. I think he's going to be the perfect slot receiver that they need.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take the top off the defense. I did feel like that was a little bit too high for him, but like for what the Browns need, I felt like
I think it was good.
Definitely a
different
player for the offense. So
I said it before. Regardless, I don't know much about like the round 6 and round 5th pick. I didn't really watch those guys.
Felton's interesting because he played running back, but he's going to probably transition to slot wide receiver. So
okay, so like my thing is your draft is going to be defined by your first 3 rounds. I think they nailed their first 3 rounds.
Hudson in round 4 is a good value. I thought he was going to go in day 2. So
this is an A for me. I think most people graded them.
Like it's crazy. Like the Browns are almost in A's every year for like off seasons, draft classes. Like
this is why I was happy with this draft class, though. A lot of the bad teams.
What we're talking about, though, like when you talk about like how great football is, like the turnaround can be like this if you hire the right GM and coach. Like it doesn't take that much to turn around a franchise. The Cowboys, I feel like we're going to disagree on this. So I didn't.
Hear me out for a second. Do you guys like the 2 linebackers that they took? Like, do you think it was smart picks?
So I love Cox. I love Cox.
I love Cox.
Yeah.
I'm saying, do you think they were good picks?
See, the problem
I think they're going in a direction that nobody knows.
Yeah, the problem I have with Dallas is because we kind of know that Van Der Esch is not going to be extended, I think, because of his injuries. They declined his 5th-year option. So, like, taking Parsons is almost like passing the torch off to like the new guy just a year early. And Dallas, to their credit, well, not really the credit, just because of what happened, they didn't get a chance at Surtain or Horn. So we can't fault them for not taking a corner. That was like who was mocked to them every single mock draft.
But I like Kelvin Joseph.
Yeah, Kelvin Joseph's a good pick, but I don't know.
No, I
I thought it was high.
I'm just talking about specifically
high.
for round one. Like there was nothing they could do. There was no one worth taking there at 12. I'm not a huge fan of Parsons. Like I know he's a super athlete. I don't love this fit for him personally. I don't think like Dan Quinn hope maybe can do it, but I just don't trust Dallas to like develop defensive talent. Like I feel like he's gonna be out on an island, like kind of like Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch is, and I feel like he's gonna be like he's a super athlete. I just feel like he's gonna be exposed pretty badly in year one.
I don't even think they're gonna make him Mike linebacker off rip. I think they're gonna let like Leighton Van Der Esch stay
But
in that role, and they're just gonna try and fill him like a long.
Yeah, I mean, then they get rid of what, Jalen Smith?
I don't know. That's
It's
what I'm saying.
possible.
I don't understand like
definitely see
getting.
Jalen Smith being a cap casualty or a trade in August.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand taking two linebackers like that, like two phenomenal linebackers when you already have two guys. Like I understand Leighton Van Der Esch for the injury concern, but you already have two guys that can play the middle of the field relatively well.
Sean Lee retired. Cox in round 4 is excellent value. I'm hating.
No, it is. It's great value. But I'm saying even for the first round, like I would have taken offensive tackle in their spot.
I would have taken Slater. That's me. I was with Peter. That was for me. That was an obvious pick.
Yeah, like for real. Like you got gifted.
And I don't even love Parsons as much as most people. So like for me, that's a reach, especially everything that was going on off the field. Kelvin Joseph is a good player, but like to say that he's not a risky pick is crazy. Like he also has off the field stuff, and so like Dallas just went like they went like for the high rolling. Like they rolled the dice, and like we're gonna see what happens.
Bobby McCain's getting released from the Dolphins today.
Who?
I actually understand that.
Bobby McCain.
Okay.
I actually understand they're taking Parsons, and again, I would have went Slater, but I understand
where you start. I give them a B-. I don't really love their draft.
I give them a C,
I'm fine.
C plus.
I'm fine with a B- because I do like Parsons. Again, I would have gone corner or Slater there, right?
But who do you take there?
What happened?
Who are you taking at 12?
I would have taken Slater.
Nobody said corner. Like was
there?
there?
If there's no, I'm saying if the corner was there, whether it was Horn or Surtain.
Yeah.
Right? But I understand. Like I love getting Parsons and Jabril Cox. You get Parsons. I thought was either if you didn't like him as the best linebacker in the class, I liked him as the second best, and then Jabril Cox, I had him as like my I think 5th best linebacker. And look, Van Der Esch, I don't think is going to be there after this year. I think that they could do without Jalen Smith with the money he's being paid. He doesn't play to perform like that. So now, if you do have to get rid of that and clear up the money, because they're going to have to clear up the money now that they paid Dak to address it elsewhere, you have the options moving forward, and their defense is based around their linebacker play. They need 2 sideline to sideline linebackers at all times. I get PTSD from when the Saints played them Thanksgiving a few years ago. This is why I think Kamara's rookie year, back when we started Mark Ingram, our running game was completely shut down. We couldn't run against them. We couldn't get a screen game against them because their linebackers were flying and covering the whole field. So that's how Dallas's defense is built. And I think that's the only thing I like about their draft. I like Kelvin Joseph. I thought it was a little bit high. I picked 44 for him. I like the picks that they made of the linebackers, but I wasn't really crazy about the rest of their draft. So I'm fine with a B-.
I'm more on the C plus range, but if you guys want,
I understand that too. So I'm fine
with the C+, honestly.
All right, so I'm fine with that. I do like what they do with the linebacker thing, but that was the only thing I like.
Like at 12, where they ended up at 12, like Rashawn Slater's there for one. You could have traded out with. I can guarantee you, plenty of teams would have, been gladly taking Rashawn Slater or anyone else that they wanted to trade up for. It's I don't know.
Yeah, but Jerry Jones, he likes making those superstar picks. That's why Parsons, the biggest name, was there for him. That's why he was so excited and giddy.
I don't know. Bad pick.
The Denver Broncos, definitely an interesting, like a good, interesting draft. My only problem, and it's not like I love Surtain. Like I feel like he's gonna make a big difference for Fangio's defense. I don't hate that. For me personally, I would have taken a quarterback. I think it was obvious they should have taken Fields. I feel like sticking with Locke another year is a mistake. I don't want to say it's wasting this roster, but it almost is because Denver's ready to compete, or they should be. Like they have one of the most talented rosters in the NFL, and I feel like it's going to be the quarterback. I know they traded for Bridgewater, but like even if Bridgewater comes in to, if Locke's struggling, like what is Bridgewater going to do to really? Like, you're playing in division against Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert, and even Derek Carr. To his credit, Carr's playing well the last year or two. I know the Raiders aren't very good, but like I feel like clearly we can all agree that Denver have the worst quarterback in the division, and really.
What if the Broncos are just like thinking we can get Aaron Rodgers?
Well, then then it changes, right? Then for sure, and we'll see.
Yeah, that's
the only reason I would think they would even take Patrick Surtain at that point. I was like, all right, they're taking Surtain. They're probably not even going to hold on to this guy like that. I think they're probably thinking, let's stack up a nice package for Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know about that. We'll see, but I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna base it off that. That's what I would have done differently. But in terms of their draft class, like I do like the value. I don't know if I would have traded up for Javonte Williams, even though I love the player. I mean, they did jump Miami, so maybe I should thank them for doing that. But I'd honestly give them a B plus. I actually really like their draft class. I feel like they got good value. I feel like Patton has done a good job since he's gotten there in free agency and now the draft. Like clearly got some needed an offensive line, interior. I like
Miner is a good pick as well.
Yeah, I even like the linebacker. Right at the end of round 3, Browning from Ohio State. I thought he was honestly early round 3 pick. And I feel like even on day 3, I'm just looking through it. Like
even the Jamar Johnson pick, that's a great pick.
Yeah, I like him. I even like Seth Williams a little bit. Like a discount Juju Smith coming up. Like not necessarily they need wide receivers. I just thought for round 6, I'll take the chance on Seth Williams there. So I'd give them a solid B plus.
Yeah, I give him a B plus.
Okay, I'm higher on the Denver Broncos draft class than you guys are. I thought for me this was an A. This is a top 5 draft class for me.
You can convince me like A minus A, yeah, for sure.
So let's see if I could do that, right? So you take again. I would have taken Fields at 9 if he was there. Me personally, I would have. But I'm not going to fault them for not, right? I'm just going to base it off the players I see that they took. Patrick Surtain was a top, even if you didn't like him as the best corner in the draft, I like Farley more. He was a top 2, if you like Hornmore, top 3 corner in the draft, right? Even though he doesn't have the speed, I think, to keep up with like a Tyreek Hill, I think he is skilled and smart enough to lock up somebody like, I don't even want to say Keenan Allen because I think Keenan Allen's top 5 in the league, but he's a great corner, right? Yeah. And you're not asking him to be corner 1 off rip, being your lockdown guy. You have depth there right now. Their secondary is already good, and they addressed it even more. Again, you traded up for a running back. I wouldn't, but having Javonte Williams, I get why the mindset of it, because Melvin Gordon's not a long-term answer. Yeah, Melvin Gordon's not a long-term answer. Philip Lindsay's not there anymore. Royce Freeman's a bust. And I was high on Royce Freeman coming out. So you got your franchise running back, right? Your Marshawn Lynch type of running back. Fine, that's an element to take some pressure off of Drew Lock. You don't have to throw it, 50 times a game.
Yep.
Quinn Myers, I love as an interior offensive lineman. I had him ranked, I think, 4th in terms of. I ranked him in terms of a center, but he's probably gonna play guard. I love the Quinn Myers pick.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite linemen in the whole class. I don't know. I didn't think.
Dude, I saw some workout.
I had him as a round 2 talent, but I thought he would fall to round 4, so that was disappointing. I would have been happy if the Saints took him to replace Andres Pete. I thought we would have. That was my. I love the Myers pick. Baron Browning, I had him ranked as a top 6 linebacker.
Did you see his workout video when he went back home to Wisconsin?
Yes, and he was punching trees.
That was crazy, bro. I was like, holy.
Yeah, so I think they absolutely nailed the first 4 picks, and then even going to Caden Sturgis, Jamar Johnson. I don't think they're each superstars. I don't think both of them will work out, but I think one of them is going to be your franchise starting safety.
Jamar Johnson is going to be a great safety for that franchise, I think.
If it's not both of them, it's definitely going to be one of them. So I love it. Seth Williams, I love Ryan. I think they hit the nail on the head as the poor man's Juju Smith-Schuster. You don't need it, but for where you got him, I thought it was great value. So I just love. I thought they honestly nailed their first 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
they did really good. I mean, yeah, look, if you want to give him an A by far, but I just think what's holding me back on that is the fact that you fumbled Justin Fields at pick 9.
I get it. We
can round it out to an A minus. I'm good with that. It was they did.
I don't think they have a superstar, but I think they have very good quality NFL starters that would get paid in this league, and they have them now all on rookie contracts.
And Surtain could be the superstar we're looking for in a year or 2.
Yeah, so I don't know. I love the draft class.
I would have just given them a B plus only specifically for I'm not passing on a And I think I'm going to say I think a franchise quarterback, especially someone.
Look, if you want to put him at B+ for that, I understand it. But I was just looking based off of the picks they made.
Yeah,
I loved all
but
those
like
players.
how we did define, like before we started, we said like 3 starters and impact players. Denver definitely went over that. It wasn't just like
Yeah, over that.
Yeah, way over that. So like and contributors. So like for that reason, we'll give them an A-. It just what's holding us back from an A or A+ is it just Fields. So if you wanted to knock them down to a B+, I'd be fine with that too. But Denver's doing a good job. Like, I can't lie.
Here we go, Ryan. Your Lions.
Yeah,
We said this before. This is
one
going
of
to
the
be a very
teams
easy
showed
one
up.
to cover.
Definitely one of the surprises.
Best player available at every single one of their picks. This is an A.
And honestly, their team was so bad where they basically had a need at every position. So like we can't fault them for.
And not for nothing, what does everybody say? You build your team from the inside out, right?
Yeah,
you take Sewell on your offensive line, and they took 2 of my top 3 defensive tackles. Obviously, I had Barmore 1, but I had Onwuzurike, I had him number 2, and then I had McNeil number 3 as my defensive tackles, and they were able to snag both of them.
Even Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th is a great value.
And what's even great about the 2 defensive linemen is that they're actually completely different from each other, which I love. It's not just taking the same like position, like they are the same position, but they play different roles on the defense, which is phenomenal. And I really
now they have a respectable defensive line now.
Malafanu, I loved him from Syracuse, absolutely. Like I know he's raw, but
I thought he was going to go in round 2. He fell to round 3.
The talent there is off the chart. So if they can get Okudah and him like right, that could be like a nice pairing. My only concern, but this is not not for this year, because the Lions are most likely going to be picking in the top 3 next year. We know this, but I would have liked to.
But they have the foundation. This is a foundation draft. I think in terms of just setting up for your future, they nailed it.
But luckily, they didn't draft a rookie quarterback. And we're not really golf fans. I'm not a golf fan, of course, but like to see him throw to this wide receiving core is going to be pretty
It's going to be fun.
Not fun. Like it's Rashard Perryman, same.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun.
If you have the fantasy defense against him, I guess it'll be fun.
It's going to be interesting, bro. Do you think he's going to stack picks, or it's just going to be a lot of incompletions?
It's going to be a lot of like throwing it down in the dirt and like trying to throw it away and be picked off. But listen, the Lions have a long way to go. We know this. Just for their first draft class in charge, I feel like it is a positive step in the right direction. So I give the Lions an A.
So do you think Jared Goff has more picks or bitten kneecaps off next season?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm good with an A, Ryan. I loved how they build their lines. That was good.
No, they did really, really well though.
Even Sewell at 7, that's still like great. I know like we had a lot of quarterback heavy draft class, but like in most draft classes, he's probably a top 3 pick. It's just that he would have played last season. So the Packers.
Oh boy. All right, can I start with this?
Sure, go ahead. You start.
Everybody's bashing them, and I think a lot. I'm giving the Packers front office credit. I think a lot of the bashing for their draft class is primarily, honestly, just because of the Aaron Rodgers drama that happened on draft day. I think people are just basing it off of, oh, you're going to lose Aaron Rodgers. Who cares about your draft class? And then as soon as they see you don't take a wide receiver in round 1, they already disregard the draft class. I don't like Eric Stokes. I didn't even like him as a 2nd-round pick, so they took him in the 1st. So I thought that was bad. But again, they just went pure speed. So I understand it, but at the same time, I don't, because it's round 1. Josh Myers, I love, from Ohio State.
He's not going to play center.
Replace Lindsey. He could. I think they could play center for him to replace Lindsey.
I don't think they're going to play him at center. I think they were saying they're going to put Elton Jenkins at center.
No,
well, regardless of the fact, Myers could play center if they need him to, because I thought he was great. I had him ranked, I think, as my 3rd best center. Amari Rodgers, again, I don't think he was the most talented wide receiver in the class. I don't think he was the top 7 or 8 receiver, but you took somebody from a winning culture who played, in the high caliber games, and where have you guys played the past few years? You played in the NFC Championship game. So in that aspect, it's not like he's a slouch of a receiver. You're not asking him to be Devontae Adams, which is good. And you can still get to have, your Allen Lazards and such, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. You still have those guys on your roster. And my favorite late round pick for them, honestly, was their last pick, Kylan Hill.
Yeah, Kylan was still around 7 hours. I fell that far.
Yeah, so I'm not giving them a C- like everybody says, but I'm also not going to give them a B. So I'm in the C+ kind of range. Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I like Eric Stokes more than you do.
Okay. For me, what saves it, honestly, is the Josh Myers pick. Because without Josh Myers, I probably would have gave them a C-.
Oh wow, you like Myers that much? I gave them. I'm in the same kind of range as you and Markello. I give them a B minus, so I'm higher on Stokes, like what Markello is, than you are. And it's strictly
Okay.
because like I'm looking at their roster, right? And going into the draft, like we gave them either corner, and I gave them Stokes a lot, or I gave them Rondo, or yeah, I gave them Elijah Moore here. And Stokes' talent though, like I know it's just speed right now, but like he has ability to work with, and you're not. I know he's gonna be picked on a lot, obviously early on because Alexander's on the other side. I just like the talent more than Kevin King. So like I feel like it definitely was a big need for me for the
I
Packers.
know.
And I know
You,
you're
we're
not supposed to
basing it
draft.
based off of Kevin King, but based off all the corners that were I loved like 5 other corners at least more than him.
Okay, I didn't. I like Sonny Samuel better. And then it's debatable after that for me whether like
Yeah.
All right, so it's just preference.
yeah, it's
For
really
me, it's a C. For the
maybe I
draft
would have
class,
liked
though.
maybe I would have liked Campbell here for the Packers specifically, but the Packers
See,
seem to like
I
this.
like Eric Stokes better than Tyson Campbell.
So for me it was more about like what team it was. So like but I think I did like Stokes better than Campbell too, because I thought Stokes was better. Like I feel like Campbell's even more raw than Stokes is, but like
Yeah.
Stokes is a sick athlete.
Me
And
personally, I like Campbell a lot more.
it's not all about being an athlete, obviously, but I actually had a problem with the Myers pick. So I like the
Really?
player. I do feel like he's in start at center, but they passed on him for Creed Humphrey was on the board. Like I would have
Yeah.
taken.
That's what I'm saying. I would have loved this draft class more if they
Yeah.
went like even if you didn't go corner first round because there's so many good corners in the second round. You go Humphrey in the first round,
No, but
and then
Humphrey,
in the
they
second round you
selected him in
take
the
best
second round.
corner.
So like they could have.
But even Humphrey was on the board for them in the second, and they
Yeah.
still were like, all right, we're just gonna go with the other guy.
But that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They could have done so many other different things than what they did.
That's the only one that really knocks it down for me because Stokes for me was like a solid B plus in round one. Like that.
Okay, so you're just higher on Stokes.
Yeah,
Right.
I felt good about it. Amari Rogers, like to get him at the end of round 3, I actually like.
Yeah.
Valdez Scantling is their deep threat. We know that. Devontae Adams, wide receiver 1. But Lazard was hurt a lot last year. And I feel like even though Rogers is going to be a slot wide receiver, like he's a little bit different than Lazard. I feel like you can throw him some screen passes. He's going to break tackles. So I feel like he actually might make a pretty, not a big difference, but a different kind of player.
He's a weapon.
Yeah, weapon for the offense. And besides Hill, which you guys mentioned, I loved him. I actually really liked the tackle from Wisconsin. I feel like he might kick inside. Like he might be a potential starter in like a year or two. So for me, I'd give them a B minus.
All right, I don't hate
Yeah,
the B
I'm on the
minus.
B minus C plus range, whatever you guys want
Yeah.
to do.
I'm fine with B minus, honestly. If you guys want to do that, I'm just again, it comes
Yeah.
down to the Stokes pick, which obviously we differ.
They didn't nail the draft. Like their B is much different than Atlanta's. Like we all agree that it's just like it was nowhere near as bad as last year. Like they definitely got players.
Well, that's because everyone they drafted last year didn't play a snap
Yeah.
besides AJ Dillon.
Like I think you're wrong on that, Markello. I think Myers is going to play center. I did see something. I think they're going to kick Jenkins back to left guard because like remember in the playoffs he had to play left tackle because obviously
Bakhtiari was out.
So they got a C minus from the PFF. So
this is my worst graded team by far. This is
to be fair, they really weren't working with a lot.
If you're this team and your first pick is Davis Mills, like what?
I like Davis Mills, but there's no way with what your team is that should have been the pick.
Exactly, and then they trade up for Nico Collins. I love Nico Collins. I love Nico Collins, bro. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to trade up for him at that point.
Yeah, let's not waste time.
Brevin Jordan might be the only reason why I give them a D. I put them in the F. I don't know if we were just kidding with that, but
I'm not kidding with it.
Jordan, I know he had issues apparently with medical, so if he might have been off half the draft, off like half the league's boards, because like he had some serious injuries concerns. But Davis Mills, I actually don't hate the player. It's just like they don't know what's going on with Sean Watson. It's not what I would have done in my first, in the third round. Nico Collins is the worst trade up in the draft. I'm sorry, like that. What they gave up to get him is just ridiculous. So and they obviously didn't have a lot of picks to begin with. So I'm giving them an F, honestly. Yeah. And Brevin Jordan might be the only reason why it's not. Maybe it should be a D.
I don't think he saves it.
Deserve it.
And I didn't really want to give any team an F. Like I wasn't coming in here thinking. I know.
Neither was I. But dude, you can't. When you're the worst roster in the league, you can't draft like that. You can't. No, Ryan. It's different if it's like. If you're a team and like like what for the Vikings did, they have Kirk Cousins, right? He might not be your starter next year or in 2 years, so you take a third round quarterback. And I like Davis Mills, and I was hoping he would fall to a good team that could actually develop him. And now it's just like,
He
okay, write
does
him
have
off.
talent, like Mills. This is the worst possible situation he could have gone
Yeah,
to.
he's not going to make it here.
Yeah, we don't really need to spend a lot of time. So they actually got a C- in PFF. It's nicer than we were. I mean, listen, Jordan might be the only like if Jordan's healthy, that was a steal. Like I'll say that right now. Like I really like Jordan for them. So
Bro, this is another team outside of their first pick. I think they drafted very poorly.
I like their first 2 picks.
yeah, I like
I
the
did.
first 2 picks.
I don't
like
know.
Deo.
I wasn't even
actually
a fan
agree
of their
with it.
second round pick, but like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more shocked. So they didn't really have a ton of like picks to begin with, but obviously like you don't really want to hold like 2 of their picks for round 7, so you're not gonna like trash them for round 7. You know,
I thought they were going to go for a
Ellinger
starting
has
left
talent,
tackle.
Even
but
Ellinger in the 6th. Like, why are you taking Sam Ellinger?
yeah, and he had talent a couple of years ago, but obviously it's been downhill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm honestly giving him like a C plus. I was not impressed with the Colts, and usually I am on
And
draft.
the only reason they would get a C for me is just because Quiddy Pay. Like, you can't ignore what kind of a pretty good value where they got him.
I'm with Peter though. I did like the Vanderbilt guy too, so like I like that they double dipped on the edge rushing department. That's really what's holding it for me. And Quiddy
That's
Pay,
the same
much as
thing.
I like him, Quiddy Pay is not like a finished product by any means. Like he still has a long way to go as a pass rusher, but the talent is there and the athleticism is there. So I'm giving them a C plus.
I'm fine with a C plus B minus. The only thing saving this whole draft, I didn't like any of their picks, even the position value. Like, I don't know why you took a tight end in the 3rd round. He's probably not going to see the field.
Yeah,
So
they have like 4 tight ends on the team already.
I just like the 2 pass rushers they took. That's the only thing that saves them.
Same thing with me. So
That was a disappointing
were you
year.
guys surprised that they didn't take like a tackle to replace?
Yeah, I thought they were going to. That's what I just said. I thought they were going to take their franchise left tackle and not addressed it at all. This is like unfamiliar territory for me. So the Colts are usually the team that is smart when it comes to draft and free agency.
So I know Peters. Yeah, we're gonna probably disagree on this.
Oh, this was my favorite draft
Okay.
out of all the teams. This
Yeah,
is A plus for me. So let me just get me out of the way,
Yeah,
right?
so you
So you
prefer
guys
Bro, this is like an up to par, maybe above average draft.
yeah, I'm the only one. I'm so surprised. Besides me and like some idiots on NFL Network, and it makes me feel stupid because I'm agreeing with the NFL Network. Again, it has nothing. And people think I talked to my cousin Nick about this. He was like, "Oh, you gave him an A plus because they took Trevor Lawrence." It has nothing to do with Trevor Lawrence. Like, obviously, you got Trevor Lawrence, and that's good. That's great. But I'm not going to base your whole draft just based off of the first pick of the draft. I know a lot of people don't agree with the ETN pick because it's running back in the 1st round, and you have James Robinson already who played out of his mind. But again, I'm a Saints fan, and what have I seen? What have I watched the past few years? Granted, why do I watch my whole life in them? They're always running back by committee, but specifically the past few years, you get a 2-headed monster at running back. So you have James Robinson, and then you have ETN, who could be your Kamara kind of role. So you don't want to give ETN 25 carries a game, but if you combine him for 20 touches, right? Like give him like 12 rushes and like feed him the ball 8 times in the passing game, that's your Kamara in your. So it's just going to expand the offense for Trevor Lawrence. And again, it's somebody who's already familiar with. And you have, Urban Meyer there, who's going to run a college kind of system there for offense. So again, 1st round, I thought, obviously you look at the positions, like a running back in the 1st round, I get it, but I love the Lawrence and ETN pairing. And then I'm higher on Tyson Campbell, obviously, than you guys are. We just talked about this with the Packers. I think he could be their true corner 2, island corner, opposite of CJ Henderson. I think they could play primarily man defense on this team now. They don't have to worry about playing zone. I think I'm confident in their corners to. I honestly think Campbell has the potential to, depending on how he develops, to be better than CJ Henderson at the end of the day. As of right now, he's not, but that's neither here or there. 2nd round, Walker Little. He fell because I think he tore his ACL last year. He didn't play. I have him ranked. If he played healthy, he would have been a 1st round pick, easy. He would have been in the teens. I think he's a franchise, not just right tackle. He's a franchise left tackle. So as long as you get him healthy, and you guys are going to see because he's going to be 100% this year, he's a franchise left tackle. So you build up that offensive line for your new quarterback and your new running game, your running scheme. Andre Cisco, I think I had him ranked as I don't know if he was either my 1st or my 3rd safety.
He was definitely not your
3rd.
1st safety.
Yeah, that was Holland. So he was my 3rd best safety in the class, and you get him in round 3, and that's not saying bad because I really like the first 2 safeties. So boom, starting safety.
Mm-hmm.
Round 4, Jay Tufele. I had him ranked in my top 5 defensive tackles. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but I think he's a starting defensive tackle in this league. Great against the run, and he could also give you interior pressure. So base it off of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your first 6 picks, I think, are home run. I'm not going to call Jay Tufele a home run hit, but he's going to be a defensive tackle for a lot of years to come in the NFL. So I think they absolutely nailed the first 6 picks. And then, around their edge defender from Jordan Smith, and then everybody after him is neither here or there. They're not going to make or break it. But I think this is an A+ for me. Based off your first, for a rebuilding team, you're picking number 1 in the draft. I think they're going to be better than Houston's. Again, not a competition, but I think they could. I don't want to say they're going to compete this year just because they are rebuilding, but they're a year away from competing in this division at least.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that they went running back with their second first round pick. I think, like, for me personally, I probably would have gone like corner. Then top of round 2, I would probably address like my offensive line. There's just so many. I don't know.
But the thing is, I think they got their franchise left tackle. So if you tell me you got the value there, franchise left tackle, like Urban Meyer knew he was going to fall for his, injury.
Yeah.
So you knew you're taking him in the second round. Then you could gamble and get somebody like ETN because it's just going to open up. You need to put up points.
All right. So even if you want to take ETN at the top of the second round, I'm not taking Tyson Campbell. I'm probably taking like Javon Holland at that point. I think they have bigger needed safety than they do at corner. I like the Walker
way they
Little
address their
pick.
secondary.
Rabin?
Either way, they still address the secondary. It's just who they had ranked.
But I think Javon Holland's better than Tyson Campbell is. As I know they play 2 different positions.
Guys had Holland ranked way higher than me. I had him as something like my 4th or 5th safety.
I had him at safety 1.
Yeah, but I don't know. Some of these picks just don't make sense to me. I like the Tufele pick. I think, like Peter said, I think I had him as like my 4th defensive tackle on my board.
Definitely top 5.
But I don't know. It's a lot of reaching going around.
I don't think this is reaching. I thought this was great value for every single one of these picks.
I'm more Markello's side. I gave him a B or B+. So
yeah, I gave him a
I hear what you're saying, Peter. Listen, your best player on the team last year, James Robinson. Taking ETN in round 1, I don't care what the record is. Like, that's a stupid pick. It's a stupid pick. So, like, I hated that to begin with. And then, I actually did like the Walker Little pick. That, like, I kind of agree with you. I'm not sure I'm willing to call him a franchise left tackle yet because he hasn't played in 2 years.
2 years.
He tore his ACL and then he opted out. Yeah. So, and then he didn't want to play in the Senior Bowl. So, like, people were questioning him. So I don't think he would even went in round 2. So, like, for me, that's a reach. But then again, the talent, if it works out, can definitely be. I agree with you. He could have been a first round pick. Like, the talent is there for sure. So if that hits, that's going to change the draft class for sure. I actually did like Tyson Campbell. So, like, I'm with you there. I wouldn't have taken him that high. But, like, then again, clearly a big need. And the upside is there. I would have went Asante Samuel. But I know they kind of needed a different kind of corner. Like, they wanted Henderson's not that big either. So, like, they wanted the bigger guy. And Campbell has good speed. So I'm not hating on them. I honestly give them a B+. I feel like they had a pretty good draft. I just wouldn't give them. I don't think they nailed it. I feel like they could have.
So where are we averaging this out? I think Kel gave them a B. I give them an A+. That's just me. And you gave them a B+.
Yeah.
So where do we average that out? You want to do B+?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just can't see them
I don't
going.
hate their pick. I just feel like I'm not a big fan of Urban Meyer at all. So I feel like he just is not going to develop this talent to begin with.
What did PFF give them? I'm curious because this is an A+ for me.
B+.
Okay.
All right, I guess. Yeah.
The Chiefs.
I love this.
Did you guys factor in the Orlando Brown trade into this, or you guys made it?
Yeah, you have to count.
Yeah, so this is an A. It's got to be an A.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
If you do count the Orlando Brown, the fact that, dude, and I tell this to first of all, let's get Nick Bolton out of the way. Just they have the need a linebacker, and he's a top 5 linebacker in this class. I think
he was number 3.
Sideline to sideline. He's going to be
number 3
for what they need. Even taking the Clemson wide receiver
in the Creed Humphrey in the second round, the end of the second round, like what?
That's crazy. Even
Trey Smith in the 6th, dude. Yeah. Trey Smith should have been like a 3rd round pick, maybe 4th if you wanted to say like that worse, but like in the 6th.
But even their Cornell Powell pick was slept on. He's going to fill in that Sammy Watkins role, and you're bringing somebody from Clemson, so you're the championship caliber kind of team. you know they're going to be competing. Obviously, the Chiefs every year that they're playing, and you get somebody who's
I
already
know,
used to
I
the
know you've
atmosphere.
said this like hundreds of times, but franchises take years to rebuild the offensive line.
And
They
that's
did
why I
this
was
in 2 months. They did this in 2 months, bro. They got Patrick Mahomes like the safety he needed.
It's crazy what they did, especially because we were at a point
Can
where
we argue that they have the best offensive line in the league right now?
They probably have top 5, top 3 if
Top
you
five.
want.
Oh, not top 5. They have top 3. I'm thinking, do they have the best? Can you
It
name
could
me an
be.
offensive line that's better right now?
They have a lot of depth on it too. So even if one guy went down, they can just put in.
No,
The
genuine. Look at all
Patriots-
the teams right now.
Patriots have a really good offensive line.
Yeah, I
They're
go
top
Patriots
5.
#1.
Patriots probably have the best one. Wow.
I'm looking at. I can't. I understand the Patriots.
Honestly,
right?
possibly if everyone comes back healthy, because I really like their draft, Dickerson, maybe Philly again, if everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
But then again,
I'd still
they
take
have
Kansas
less
City's
tackling.
over them.
They have
Yeah,
less
honestly, yeah.
tackling.
No
I think
disrespect
Kansas
to
City probably has
Philadelphia.
like the second best line in the league right now, from what
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I can't see anyone
I mean, the
else.
Colts, they lost.
And they did that in 2 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Teams take 10
Sickening.
years to do that.
Sickening.
And I get it. You have the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes effect. People want to come play for you. That's how they got Thuney for $20 million a year. But it doesn't matter how you get them in. You have them in.
And they got
right?
Kyle Long to come out of retirement.
What they did in like 2 months, and it wasn't just like they got 4 people. They honestly got like 5 or 6 people who can start. So
And
It
I think
takes
they're getting
teams
back
10 years to
Lucas
do that.
Niang. They're getting back Lucas Niang. They have that guy Duvernay Tardif coming back. Like, dude, their line
Yep.
is stacked.
oh god, here we go.
D, automatic D.
The Las Vegas Raiders. Always an interesting team.
You know what's crazy? So remember when we were doing our last mock draft? I said, guys, this is going to be like an Alex Leatherwood or a Sam Cosmi. And I seen the pick pop up on the board, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think you did say that. That's so funny.
Can I defend them for 1 second?
I like Leatherwood a lot more than people. Just not. No one was
Dude, he's
taking.
going to be a guard.
No one was taking.
He's not even going to play tackle.
Leatherwood would have been taken probably at the earliest, like 29, at the earliest.
I don't think he was going to be taken in the first round.
If you wanted to be a little bit generous, it might possibly could have went at the end of the first round. So
I don't
I
know.
hate Leatherwood. It's just a reach. Once again, the Raiders love to reach.
I really like their second round pick though.
So do
The
I.
safety from
This
TCU
is
was
my favorite. This is my
glaring
favorite
need.
safety in the draft. So this is
Yeah.
what saves it for me. And then the rest
Yeah,
of the
I
draft, I
like
just
that.
don't like at all.
I like Jimmy Morsay from Pittsburgh in the 7th round. I thought that was good value. That's really the only good thing I could say besides the obvious Moore-Rig pick in the 2nd round.
What do you
Even
guys?
the
I
lefty
give them
wasn't
like I give them a C minus. D.
No, I give him a D. This is bad. This is bad.
Can we fire Mayock and Gruden already?
Yeah, this is really bad. Give him a D.
I'm gonna give them a C minus
Oh man.
because look, I'm not high on Leatherwood, and they did butcher where they took him. They overreach, but at the end of the day, he's going to be starting on the offensive line. And let's just go back to the model we said, right? How many starters are you going to have? He's going to start. Moorig's obviously going to start. The rest of their players are going to see snaps just because they're that bad on defense.
And why did they take
And
3
then
safeties?
I actually do like Jimmy Morsay a lot.
Dude, I'm looking at this right now. They took 3 safeties.
Yeah.
Not all of them are going to. Yeah, some of them are going to. One of the guys I forgot who is going to play nickel. Yeah, so it's
You're telling me you're giving this a C minus? Give this a D.
Fine.
fine.
I like Gillespie though. Gillespie was a
I
good
was trying to
pick,
be
but, like,
nice.
Why'd you take 3 of them?
That'd be nice. I mean, it's just like Peter's saying. I know you're gonna see a ton of the Jets with a ton of safeties too, but like,
But they're not all actual safeties.
And they're playing slot
Okay.
corner. So
Yeah.
They got a C from PFF.
C. Oof.
They're just being generous at this point.
Jeez.
I think we
Sorry.
could have gave them a C minus and cut them some slack. They got some quality.
I think this was another like B plus A minus type draft right here. The Chargers. I really like their draft.
I gave them a really solid B plus.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot I can complain about. Love the Slater pick, incredible value.
Well, he fell into their lap.
I think me and Markello are very high on Asante Samuel Jr., so I thought he should have been like the first corner taken on day 2. I didn't think it was close between like the rest of them. Like I understand like the upside of some players, but Asante Samuel is like a ball hawk like right now. Like he's just very instinctive and especially I love him for the Chargers specifically. Like the style of defense they play. Everything else, like I feel like they got like I really liked Chris Rum from Duke. So in round 4. I feel like this is a bit of a reach for McKitty from Georgia in round 3. And Josh Palmer actually has a chance to like take significant like honestly, he might be the slot wide receiver down there. That might have been a little bit too high for him, but the talent is there. So I know he dealt with a bad quarterback play for Tennessee, but I'd really give him a solid B plus. Definitely got players who are going to contribute on day 1, and I feel like they got like 2 I don't want to say star players. Slater's going to be the star, and I feel like Samuel's going to be very good. So
I'm at a B plus with you. My sleeper pick for them was Roundtree from Missouri, the running back. I think
Okay.
he's going to be he's not going to be a starting running back, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think he's going to be the best running back in the room behind Eckler.
yeah,
Just as soon as he walks in.
yeah. Who's the other running back? Justin Jackson, right?
Justin Jackson, and I don't know if they still have Kelly or not.
Oh yeah, Kelly was terrible last year. So yeah,
But
this could be.
I think he's better than Justin Jackson right now, and he was a 6th-round running back.
Okay.
I think the depth at running, I don't think there was any superstar running backs, honestly, besides maybe like ETN, like superstar. I'm saying I think ETN has that potential, but there was depth at running back this year. It just wasn't top heavy like previous years.
Markel, what did you give them?
I'm more of like a B plus, but if you wanted to give him an A, you could tell me A.
We all gave him B. I gave him B plus too. So. They got an A plus in PFF. So I hated this draft class. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Rams.
I like Tutu Atwell. That's about it.
Oh, I hated that pick. I hated that pick. Way too.
I like him that was early. I like him as a receiver, but again, there was concerns about his weight.
Yeah, his weight, and specifically for this team, right? Like we have Robert Woods. I understand he's a different type of receiver. I get it, but like we're paying Cooper Kupp a lot of money. We're paying Robert Woods a lot of money. We just took Van Jefferson in round 2 last year, and we signed Sean Jackson. I know he hasn't been healthy recently, but Sean Jackson is going to be the deep role threat. And this is a team that should be like not only in the playoffs but trying to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think Tutu Atwell does anything to really up my chances of making the Super Bowl. So
I'm just upset. I thought Tutu was going to fall to like the 3rd round to a team like Indianapolis. I thought that would have been such a better fit because I like Tutu and I want him to be successful. I thought Indianapolis was a good fit. That was what I was hoping for. But again, Bobby Brown in round 4, that was a huge reach to me.
Yeah, I gave him a C minus. Like honestly, it might be a D. Honestly, it honestly could be a D.
Yeah, I'm more in the boat of like a C minus C. But
honestly, I'm more in the D. I don't think a lot of these players are even going to see playing time.
Yeah. Like how much better did the Rams get after 3 days in the draft? I don't think any much better at all.
Like Jake Funk's not even going to make the roster, and they took him in round 7.
Well, I mean, he's not.
Ernest Brown again.
Ernest Jones, like up your draft at all, or like my favorite pick for them is honestly Rochelle from Central Arkansas. Then again, like, is he going to play a lot because they have Ramsey and they have who was it, Williams from last year, who was really good. So
yeah, I don't want to like a D is a harsh grade, and I don't know if this is as bad as.
No, it's not as bad as the Raiders. Or what do we give Houston an F?
No, I'm saying the Raiders.
But see, I actually like the Raiders draft class better than the Rams.
So do I, but that's why I was saying I would give the Raiders like. If we put like I can't put this class above the Raiders, so unless we put the Raiders to C and put the Rams also at C, I think we have to put the Rams at D.
We'll give the Raiders a D plus and the Rams a D minus.
They have to be on the same level. There's no way I'm picking the Rams over the. I just liked because I told you I liked at least 3. Like Leatherwood was a reach, but as a matter of fact, I think we have to put the Raiders to C because.
We give them a C.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
They're gonna have starters. Alex, like, we get it. It was a reach, but he's gonna be starting. Who on the Rams is gonna be starting besides Tutu Atwell?
It's a C minus, all right.
So then I would throw the Rams into F and then just throw the Raiders back down to D.
Okay, I'll do that. Let's do that. Listen, if you're not gonna like, I know that I'm a 1st round pick. I get it. Like the rest of the draft, like we made the playoffs last year, right? We just upgraded from Stafford, and I understand that Sean Jackson might get hurt. So maybe if Jackson gets hurt, Tutu does make a pretty big difference, or not a big.
My thing is, like their roster's not too far away, like you're saying. If you don't have that many picks to begin with, why don't you trade your 2 4th rounders to get like another 2nd round pick or something? Yeah. And you take like a starting caliber player.
What was the purpose of taking Van Jefferson last year if you were just going to take another wide receiver in round 2 the following year? It makes no sense, like from a team building perspective.
Because they were in Malibu, bro. They weren't focused on the draft.
The Dolphins.
This was an A.
Okay, so I love this. I don't love this draft class. I liked it a lot better than last year's. So last year I was not a fan to begin with, and it clearly showed. So this year I felt like they did a much, much better job.
Their first 4 picks are like amazing.
Yeah. So Jalen Phillips is my favorite edge rusher. So that's my favorite pick that they made in round 1. Am I concerned a little bit that he's 1 concussion away from like possibly retiring? Yes, a little bit. You have to be. I love Jalen Waddle. I just don't love him with Tua. I'm gonna say that right now. Like I know they have Will Fuller now, but Waddle for me was incredible talent. I just feel like they could have traded down. I know they traded up, but based on how the board fell, because Pitts and Chase didn't fall, I might have traded down and tried to get Devontae Smith instead. But I love Waddle, so I'm not going to hate on the player. I gave them solid B plus. I really like their draft. I just didn't think it was an A.
I don't know.
I'm also
The
factoring them in.
value of their second round picks as well, dude. Like,
I'm also considering like they traded up to get Waddle, and I don't feel like I know they said he was their guy, like their number one receiver. I just don't believe that. I feel like they traded when they made that trade to go back up to
I thought
six.
they were getting Chase.
Pacer Pitts. So the fact that they didn't land one of those guys and stood pat, that's fine. Like you still got a playmaker. I just feel like based on the capital you gave up to go back up, I feel like that has to be accounted for.
I mean, I like it in a sense though, because at the end of the day, who's the receiver like that matches Jalen Waddle on the Dolphins right now?
Probably Will Fuller, who's not going to
No,
play
but
all games.
he's definitely better than Will Fuller.
I don't know about
Like,
that.
I wouldn't say he's better. It's just
he's
going to
be better
available.
than Will Fuller.
Actually, I can't even say he's going to be more available because Jalen Waddle missed a lot of time too.
Yeah.
I don't
know.
Honestly, I don't even like the Jalen Waddle pick. I'd rather them have gone Sewell.
Yeah, actually, I would rather that
Really?
too.
Yeah, so like, I'm conflicted between an A minus and a B plus, and here's why. So like, yes, they traded up again to get Jalen Waddle, which is not good, but let's not forget they also traded down from 3, right?
Yeah, so they got
that goes both ways. Again, I don't even have Waddle ahead of Smith. I would have gone Smith even at 6. Like, forget about trading back. I would have just taken Smith at 6 if you're going to go receiver. And then again, I like Eichenberg. He wasn't in my top 5 tackles or anything, but he was definitely a top 10 tackle in this class. He's going to be a starting right tackle. You don't even have to kick him to guard. He can play right tackle. And my 2 favorite picks they made, they took my number 1 edge rusher and Jalen Phillips. Injuries aside, I think he's worth the risk, right? Especially because you had another first round pick to gamble with.
Well, if you're a team like the Dolphins also that's so close to like, contending for your division, it makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Favorite pick they made, Phillips.
So. Yeah. So you take my number 1 edge rusher and then you took my number 1 safety in Javon Holland. So that's why I'm leaning A minus, just because they took 2 best at me personally, my opinion, the best at their position. So that's why I lean A minus. I even like Hunter Long to back up Gesicki.
I actually like
that was a good compliment. So I give it an A minus.
I don't know, man. I feel like they hit home runs with their first 4 picks.
I'm giving him a B plus. I want to tell you're the deciding factor.
So you give him an A, Markello?
I'm going A. So whatever you guys want to average that
That'll
out.
average out to like an A minus then. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I already know by the end of this I'm gonna be upset that Jacksonville's not in the A tier.
Minnesota Vikings.
I like their draft.
So did I. I'm definitely in the B plus, A minus range already.
The first 4 picks for them as well. Even Patrick Jones, like the second amazing pick for edge. Like
that late. I even like Smith Marset was one of my favorite late round receivers taken. And I know they don't need it, but if
you guys feel about Jalen Twyman? I think that was bad value in the 6th.
Yeah, I'm giving them like a rock solid B plus. You could even convince me for A minus. So
I actually have them ranked as
Mon can learn a little bit behind. I mean, not much behind Kirk Cousins, but hopefully he'll learn something.
Yeah, if Mon can push for a starter role in like a year or 2, this is an A.
Mm-hmm.
So I rated them an A, but it could also be an A minus. Maybe A is too generous. Maybe A minus. And here's why. Darisaw, that's your starting franchise tackle, right?
And they
home run of the pick, and he traded down. Yeah, so this is an A draft. Considering they traded down, this is an A draft, right? Kellen Mond, again, you didn't have a second round pick. You can't fault him. Kellen Mond, obviously, like, you're a 3rd round quarterback. He didn't even play a lot in his career. Like, and even last year, Texas A&M, like, he didn't attempt a lot of passes. Like, that just wasn't the offense that they ran. They didn't need to throw the ball a ton. But I do think at best he could be like, he reminds me of Phillip Rivers. So if you could somehow get the best out of him, you could get, I'm not saying you're going to get like the accolades and stats by the end of Rivers had, what he had by the end of his career, but that's who he plays similar to. So, and considering your quarterback is Kirk Cousins, I like that you have the depth now to go elsewhere if you need to move off Cousins. I thought it was a reach for their linebacker at 78, Chaz Surratt. I wasn't high on him.
I like Surratt. I think he'll play well.
I wasn't as high on him. Really? Again, it's preference.
Wyatt Davis
round 3 linebacker.
What about
Wyatt
Wyatt
Davis, that's
Still.
great value, right?
Yeah.
Patrick Jones, great value at edge.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Cameron Byam, California. I thought he was decent pick. Maybe a little high for round 4, but considering where the corners were going, I get it. So honestly, my favorite part about the draft was just trading back and getting Darisaw.
That's huge. But the only thing was, like, we didn't know what their whole like plan was. Was it Darisaw or was it going to be Vera Tucker?
Yeah, but the Jets made that clear when they traded. Obviously,
Yeah.
they traded with them, and they didn't mind. Obviously, you pick up the extra pick, and
That's what I think it was. I think they were just happy taking either of them, and they were like, all right,
yeah.
they want to give us
Yeah.
the picks, I'll go for it type deal. So it
So
worked
besides Darisaw, I don't even see any superstars. I just see a lot of depth. So I don't know how I should rank that accordingly, just because I see
out.
a
I mean,
lot
look,
of
I'm
depth.
giving them a B plus.
Again, a B plus. I think that's fair.
All right, so B plus is fair.
Definitely an A.
I'll go B plus.
But it's kind of like the same thing with last year, where they had like a ton of picks to like work with to add depth and stuff.
I just think it was a lot of depth. I don't see any superstars. I just see depth. That's
Well,
my thing.
I feel like
Besides Darisaw, no, besides Darisaw, I'm saying, and he traded down for it.
And like Wyatt Davis in round 3 is incredible value. Like the value is perfect. Patrick Jones even in end of round 3.
That's what I'm saying. They got value and they got depth. So that's why I was considering A minus, but I'm fine with B plus.
Well, yeah, like we said, if Mon turns out to be a future starter, it's definitely an A. It seems like most teams have done pretty well in the draft themselves.
Yeah, we said it. A lot of teams had a lot of good drafts.
They got a B
Yeah,
plus
B+.
from PFF
Perfect.
too. The Patriots.
This is another team that had a fantastic draft. I don't care like what anyone says about that Mac Jones pick. I think this was a very good draft.
I'd honestly,
I agree with you.
Like a B is still good for me. Like I like Barmore in round 2. Like Ronnie Perkins was actually one of my favorite edge rushers in the entire draft. Not on the level of
round 3.
like
Dude, even Cameron McGrone in the 5th round.
Yeah.
I like Stevenson in the 4th for a running back. They need the running back.
Yeah, so do I. It just
still shows out the door.
The only thing that's weighing me down a little bit is Mac Jones. But to get him at pick 15, not trade up, like I have to take that into consideration. I might even.
Well, you know what? Can I argue it though? Because Mac Jones was my 5th ranked quarterback. I liked Fields, Lance better than him, right? Obviously, but with all the moves that they made in free agency, New England, they're not going to be picking in the top 20. I don't think. So you're not going to get the chance to draft. And honestly, this draft class was so good at quarterback. Like the quarterback value that they got at 15, I don't even think you're going to get. Like it's going to be impossible for them to trade up without giving away too much to get a quarterback next year. So taking Mac Jones and just hoping he could be what you need him to be, and you just put that team around him, which I think they have now, and then you add Barmore and Perkins to your defensive line. I don't know. I like it. I'm a B plus for this.
I'm a B plus as well. I think they did really, really well.
All right, I was a solid B, but I'll give them B plus. I think they got some incredible value picks here for sure. And if Mac Jones works out, like in any other year, to be fair to Mac Jones, like he's not the 5th quarterback taken.
He's not. He's probably going to be like the 3rd or 2nd, honestly.
So
honestly, let's not disrespect Mac Jones. I understand he's playing with a bunch of first rounders.
He's smart.
I like him better than Tua. I do.
Honestly, I didn't think I would, but he just look at Alabama, how they played.
I think I would rather have Mac Jones than Daniel Jones right now. I'm not even going to lie to you.
I think I would too.
Yeah, I think I would too, but I'm not high on Daniel Jones, so it's not really.
Neither am I. He's my quarterback.
So they got an
A plus.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I don't know.
I mean,
look,
I
would give them an A if Mac Jones was going to be like if they didn't have Cam Newton, like if they didn't have a week 1 starter, it was just Stidham in there. Then I'd give them the A.
That because like draft classes aren't really meant for year 1. So like Mac Jones.
No, I understand that, but I don't think. Again, if you're taking somebody pick 15 overall, I'd expect him to play.
Yeah, but I don't think Sean Watson play like his first 5-6 weeks. No one cares now.
Well, no, I think Watson started by week 3 or 4. No.
Yeah, but that's only because like didn't Hoyer or Cat whoever.
Yeah, but I also think
knocked out.
Deshaun Watson is like top 3 in the league. I'm not comparing Mac Jones to Deshaun Watson.
No, I'm just saying like just because they didn't start week 1 doesn't make him any less.
Oh boy.
Peter Saints, if you want to
go ahead, man. This is all you. Take the floor.
Before you start, my favorite pick for you was clearly the Stanford corner.
Yeah,
Debo.
so that's my
Yeah,
favorite pick of
Yeah,
the
me
draft.
as well.
Okay, so
Floor's yours.
should I start pros or cons?
Can you find the pros?
It's up to you.
I can't find. I can. I can. I could. Do you want me to start with pros?
Sure.
Okay. Paulson Adebo is going to be our starting cornerback too. I'm happy with it. I think he could give us similar production, if not better, than what Janoris Jenkins did. So I'm happy with that. Right?
hmm
I would still like Richard Sherman, but based on rumors and reports, he says that the Saints, it's not going to be the Saints, essentially. They drafted Paulson Adebo. He thinks that the need at corner for them isn't there. And I think he'd want to stay on the West Coast anyway with teams he's already familiar with whether it's Seattle or 49ers. Okay. If you guys had to guess what my second favorite pick behind Adebo was, what would you guys say it is?
Pete Werner.
Yeah, Pete Werner.
Wrong.
Peyton
It's
Turner.
Quan Baker. South that when we traded up to get Quan Baker.
Okay.
I didn't watch his tape prior to drafting him, but after watching his tape, I think he could bring elements to our offense that we need. So offensively, because again, I'm not blaming it on Drew Brees last year, but based on how our offense was last year, we need again, round 7 is similar to undrafted, and the Saints only take receivers and undrafted receivers. So I like Quan Baker. Ian Book, I wasn't high on him coming in, but his best pro is like off script kind of throws, right? If the play breaks down, what can you do after that? So that's not really like. So I see what Sean Payton did, right? Like he's going to try to mold him to be the pocket passer. Let me make my case. Stop smiling. He's going to try to mend him to be
This
the
is
pocket
really bad,
passer.
dude.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I hate it.
This
Hold
is
on.
really bad.
He's going to try to mend him to be the kind of pocket passer and, read the defense. The good thing, he's not going to start year 1, maybe not even year 2.
Or
Okay.
never.
Yeah,
Or
he's
never.
probably never going to
He's gonna
start. I'm not gonna
develop.
lie to you.
Never gonna start.
You guys are going to go
Gonna
elsewhere
develop.
where you even think about giving Ian Book the go behind center.
Go watch. Who did Notre Dame play? I forgot who they played. Just look up Ian Book highlights.
No, I don't
He
know.
does some of that Mahomes shovel passes.
No.
He does it.
I don't
All
care.
right. Guess
He
what?
has it in his
I'm
arsenal.
giving you guys a C-. I think you
I
guys
hate the
reached.
Pete Warner pick.
I think you guys
I-
reached on every pick. I don't understand the Pete Warner pick. Who did you guys take last year? That guy from Wisconsin. What was his name?
Zach Vaughn,
Yeah, you guys took
who
Zach
did not
Vaughn
play.
in the
who did
set.
not
What is
play.
going on, man?
So, and Peyton Turner again. I don't think Peyton Turner is a scrub. I think he's going to be a rotation. He's going to play Peyton Turner. He's going to be a rotational edge guy. But I wouldn't have gone edge in the first round unless it was somebody like Oweh.
Bro, show me someone that had Peyton Turner on their mock drafts for round 1. Absolutely nobody. You guys did the Seahawks. You're like, all right,
This is
want our guy.
I'll be unbiased. This is a C for me.
this is a C-. Treading towards D+.
Yeah, I gave them a
Ryan's ready to
C.
say, okay. Thank you.
Really, because of Debo, I actually really like him. I feel like he's gonna be a day 1 starter.
Can you guys do me a favor though?
And
Look at
I like
Quan
Adebo
Baker
as well.
highlights.
That's my
I
like.
actually,
pick
I actually like
really
Peyton
out
Turner
of this.
better than I think both of you did. So
Look up Quan Baker highlights.
All right.
Both of you. If you have free time today, for a 7th round pick, you're like, okay, he should have been like a 4th round pick.
all right, Miller. Listen, I'm fine with like 2 of the players you drafted. Pete Werner for me was like a 3rd round pick, but like where you picked in the 2nd round was end of the 2nd, so it's not like a huge.
There was so many players I like that picked 60.
Yeah, there was.
I think that's what hurts me more. Is
There were a
that
lot of players I
there were
like. that
so
picked
many players
28.
I personally loved that we didn't take, that we could have.
We're being a little generous to the Saints. Definitely like a C.
Yeah, so like let's be generous about it. Out of all the teams in the C category, I think they have the worst ones out of all those
By
Cs.
far.
Yeah, but then again, they didn't really have the quantity of picks either. So like I didn't outside of the Cardinals. The Cardinals for me are almost on the bottom of this list too. So
I would have been happier with Zaven Collins. So I think the Cardinals have a
I
better
got a
draft.
C in the PFF. So
Oh
Here
boy.
comes Z-Man. Let me start with this.
Started
one.
off, Keller. Oh,
Mark.
okay. All right.
Let me start with this. So obviously the Giants are going to take Devontae Smith at 11. That was like, and then the Eagles and Dallas kind of screwed them over. And I honestly don't want to say like it benefited them, but assuming Daniel Jones is not the quarterback, you now have 2 first-round picks next year. So I love it from that aspect. Like even trading down the 2nd, like Gettleman finally trades down.
Trader Dave.
Now I think if he would have stayed at 11, if Devontae Smith was taken, I think you would have taken Vera Tucker if you stayed. So I'm glad that you didn't for my team. But and Kadarius Toney was a little bit of a surprise pick. I don't know if he was going in round 1, but I actually like the player, so I'm not going to hate on the pick because you also got draft picks back in return. So when you put those two things together, and the fact is like Sterling Shepard might be like one injury away from not playing again, or at least missing like a lot of the season. So
Or you not even bringing him back to begin with after
Yeah,
that.
we're not extending.
Same
him.
thing with
There's
Evan
no-
Ingram. Like you have a lot of weapons now, but you might. I don't think Evan Ingram you're going to sign long term anyway. So you're going
That's
to lose
fine.
some
He can go
pieces
out the door,
next
too.
year.
The guy can't catch a ball.
and Tony's definitely a different type of receiver, obviously, than Kenny Galladay. So like that's just even than Sterling Shepard, he just adds a different element to the offense. I would like to see you guys take like an offensive lineman somewhere in the draft class, but just looking at the rest of your draft, like Aziz at the end of or in the mid to late round 2, I liked him. I liked Aziz, so he was definitely like my third favorite edge rusher, I think, in the draft. I even liked Aaron Robinson and Alistair Smith from Northern Iowa, so I'd give you guys honestly like a B plus.
I think this is just me being honest, but I think we got an A. I think just if you like count the picks that we picked up along with the players, like I know a lot of people weren't high on the Tony pick, but he's basically what the Giants needed. Like we needed a separator, we needed a playmaker.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I knocked him a little bit because I would have taken Darisaw there or even Tevin Jenkins.
Nah, for sure. I could definitely see the argument, but at the end of the day,
But yeah, I definitely don't hate Tony like most people. Like I don't know why Tony seems to have like a lot of hate online, but
nah, I'm a very big fan of that pick. And even dude, getting Aziz Ojolari when we trade back again in the second, I was like, wow, like this draft is really falling the way. And then, like you said, Aaron Robertson, Ellerson Smith, even Rodarius Williams too in the 6th. That's pretty good value.
he honestly he looked pretty good, Williams. But
So I'm giving us an A, but I think that's just bias.
I am kind of concerned that Aziz might not work out.
Yeah, he has like some like degenerative knee issue, like or something.
Yeah.
But he played all his snaps at Georgia.
So I'm gonna defend you here and say that you're not biased because I also give the Giants an A.
Fucking go.
I wasn't happy with the Tony pick. I thought for first round talent, all the players there, you should have gone elsewhere. But again, I'm not going to solely base it off of who you didn't take. I'm going to see who I see in front of me, right? And considering you traded back and gave yourself the leverage for next year to take a quarterback if you need to, like it's 2 birds, 1 stone. You give Daniel Jones another weapon, no excuses, and you could replace Daniel Jones if need be next year, right? And if you don't replace him, then you could take a tackle in round 1 next year and still have an extra first round pick to spend elsewhere. So I won't knock the first round pick because I do like Kadarius Toney, who's a top 5 receiver for me. Okay, then round 2, again, I understand that he fell because of the knee issue, but Aziz was one of my top edge rushers, and you got him in round 2, and you needed the edge pressure, right? So I love that. Aaron Robinson, I told you Markel separately, so he was one of my top 5 favorite corners. I think I had him top 4 actually.
I think I had him at 4th as well.
This year, based on personnel wise, who you have, right? You had Bradbury and you have Adoree Jackson now. So this year, Aaron Robinson is going to be your primary slot corner, but he's going to lock down anybody he plays. And whenever either Bradbury goes or let's say you let go of Adoree, I know you gave him a 3-year deal, but Aaron Robinson could play outside island. Like he has the skill to do that. Nobody talks about this, and especially because, so besides Richie Grant, let's not even count Richie Grant because he was playing safety. Out of all the corners or anybody let's just say corners, Aaron Robinson was the best at UCF, and they asked him to do everything. So it wasn't just nickel that he was playing. If their opponent's best receiver was an outside receiver, they moved him to the outside. They basically just said like, okay, what we're going to do is Aaron Robinson, you're going to guard the team's best receiver, and we're going to have Richie Grant playing up high. And that's how they base their defense, and that's what worked for them. That's why I loved everybody.
Yeah, that UCF secondary was like amazing all season.
This year it was special. Next year it's not going to be like that. UCF was never known for that, but Aaron Rodgers and Richie Grant made that possible. So Aaron Robinson was such a slept-on pick. I wanted the Saints to take him in round 1.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I think the Giants actually this is such a breath of fresh air because my draft class last year, I was not having it.
And then you get edge, depth and Smith. For me, this is
I really like the edge picks too as well. I think we really needed the depth. It gives now we can move Leonard Williams into the Dalvin Tomlinson spot, and even we could kick like Dexter Lawrence inside and put BJ Hill on the other side. So we have a lot of options now. I like it.
Unbiased, I thought Kadarius Toney could have been a first round pick to like Green Bay, let's say at the end of the first round. Like one of those end of first round teams could have taken him. So I'm looking at this draft class and I'm saying, okay, you talent wise, you have 3 first-round picks, and that's rounds 1, 2, and 3, and you have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well. I'm gonna give us an A. I hope PFF was nice enough to give us somewhere in that range.
B plus.
Geez, tough critics, man.
I mean, I gave him.
I think Tony's bringing that down. That's why.
But he's not even bad. Like a lot of people
He's
are looking
not.
at
It
him,
was
he's
just
not like polished at
reach
receiver.
for him.
I get it.
So my Jets are up.
Start it off, Ryan.
I mean,
This-
Zach
this-
Wilson was kind of expected for the entire month, so we're not going to act.
Give us your draft grade and explain why, and then go through your pros and cons and like that.
I gave them an A minus. So
Okay.
I actually like this draft class better than the last draft class. And last draft class I was pretty impressed by. I'm glad, even though it has to be said, that we did not stick with Darnold and trade down. So that for me was already a plus to begin with, going into the draft. So Zach Wilson, I feel like is a really good prospect. I feel like he's going to fit the offense pretty well, and I'm excited to have a new quarterback here for this season. Vera Tucker, this is heavily debated. Apparently, I don't know why, about trading up.
I don't know if I would have traded up this far to get him.
Listen,
You say that in hindsight because of the talent we saw at offensive line fall. So
Yeah.
there would have been somebody good at 23, but we didn't know it was going to be that way.
The problem
Yeah.
with that is like I'm all about the process versus results. So the process for me was correct, and Vera Tucker and the gap between the next interior offensive lineman was massive. Like I don't even know who the next interior offensive line was taken. And the Jets had a ton of picks with Jamal Adams. So like this offered us the flexibility. And if you look at it like this, the Jets traded for Vera Tucker plus whatever first round pick we take next year for Jamal Adams. And I'm doing that every single day of the week. Vera Tucker's instant starter at left guard. And I love that pairing with him and Becton. So I like moving up in the draft. Not always, but like in this instance, like Douglas has shown us that he trades down a lot, right, for value. I don't mind him having conviction and trading up for his guy. Elijah Moore, a little bit of a surprise. I definitely thought it was going to be Tevin Jenkins or maybe a corner, but I love this pick. Like Elijah Moore is maybe not someone we need right now because like he gets comparisons to Crowder, but I think he is different than Crowder. I think Moore wins more vertically while Crowder dominates like underneath. And pairing a guy up with Zach Wilson for 4+ years is a win for me. This is a guy who probably could have went end of day one. So I love that pick, and I love how our first 4 picks were offense. Like one's a Jets draft class that usually everything is defense, or like maybe 1 or 2 picks is offense. And funny enough, I actually think Douglas just actually went best player available again, and it just so happened that the first 4 picks happened to be offense, which is great. Michael Carter, I like this pick. I thought he should have gone like in round 3, so to get him in the top of round 2 was fun and exciting for our offense. And then the rest of day 3, my favorite pick was the Florida State one. Hamza Nasir-Dean. I definitely did not pronounce that right. I thought he was like a round 3 pick. Like I think he's going to be a starter right away at linebacker. He just got hurt. And the Jets are apparently super high on Michael Carter II to be our day 1 slot corner. So I just mentioned like 5 starters, and like there's going to be, I think Vera Tucker is going to be like a really, really solid pro, possibly like a few-time Pro Bowl player. So if Zach Wilson hits, this is an A+, but I'm going to be a little bit harsh. I'll give him an A-. So not even harsh. Like I like
That's
the draft.
I gave you guys an A, like teetering on an A+.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be super biased as a Jet fan. So just
Again, Jets fans, dude. I think you guys made like really solid picks.
Yeah, I don't think it's biased. I gave them an A too. You get your franchise quarterback, right?
You get your franchise offensive lineman that can play anywhere basically on the line. Vera Tucker has like super flexibility.
Look, the whole point is to try to rebuild that 2009-2010 Jets offensive line, right?
Yeah.
And this is a step towards that. Your whole left side solidified now.
Michael Carter was a steal in the 4th round, dude.
Still improvements to be made, but the majority of this is good. Elijah Moore, honestly, he's a number 1 receiver, I think, in the NFL. I think he could develop into that. So I like that in round 3 and round 2. I'm sorry.
I'm still super high on Mims. I think Mims is the best wide receiver the Jets have.
I think he could develop into number 1. I had Elijah Moore ranked, I think, as like 8th best wide receiver in this class, but I also thought this class was better than last year's. I think I had Mims ranked as my 5th or 6th best. last year. So I don't have it too far off.
Markel had Mims super high last year.
Yeah, I really like Mims.
And then
Moore
Michael
had
Carter,
like definitely lower than Mims, but like they're different style of receivers, which is perfect. So
Michael Carter, I know I'm in the minority, but Michael Carter I had as my third best running back in this class. I had him ahead of Javonte Williams.
I don't know about that.
I just, if you're a running back, I need
he's a day one starter, Carter.
No, for sure. He's a day one starter, and you got him in the 4th round. So, like,
look,
you
my
guys
thing
really
is-
hit on all your picks, dude. Like, you guys did a great job.
My thing is with Michael Carter, like he obviously he was smaller. He's short. He's not as big, obviously, as Javonte Williams. He's the Marshawn Lynch, Javonte Williams. But Michael Carter, you have the speed element there, and in the system that the Jets are going to be running now, and the run scheme that they're going to implement, you need that speed.
Yeah, and the
So
vision.
I like that pick. And then, like you said, the Florida State safety, whether you play him a linebacker or where, I had him ranked in terms of safeties as my 7th best safety.
He's a beast.
There was a rumor he was going to come out last year, and last year he was ranked as the 2nd or 3rd best safety. So again, you're getting value. And again, if you base it off of just who's going to see the field, who's going to play, most of these picks are going to be starters.
Yeah. So
that's
I'm
like
giving
an
you guys
A-
a
for me.
Yeah.
it's pretty fun when you have a competent GM, or I'm going to say even better than that. I'm going to say above average GM.
Draft grade A.
The Philadelphia Eagles. Surprisingly, I actually really like their draft. I usually don't like Philly's draft classes, but to trade up and to get Devontae Smith, I actually really liked. It was only 2 picks, so he didn't really go up anything. Landon Dickerson for me was the best interior offensive lineman outside of Elijah Vera Tucker. I think there was a pretty clear gap between the rest of them, even Creed Humphrey. The only problem with Dickerson has been like health, but when he's played on the field, he's been an absolute beast. And the Eagles' offensive line and has been really good, but obviously it's getting older and has had a ton of injuries. So I don't mind them adding, another hopefully stud who stays healthy for them. And now they're giving Jalen Hurts every shot to make it. Rager last year, now Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith's so much better of a prospect than Rager. So to add, him, Dickerson, improve the interior offensive line. I was a huge fan of Kenneth Gainswell.
Yep.
Not necessarily
that was the sleeper pick that everybody's missing. He's going to be a great compliment to Sanders.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, it wasn't need, but he's just going to add something different than Sanders does too. He's more of like the power back. He actually reminds me a ton of Antonio Gibson from last year. I don't think he's as smooth or as like going to be as good as that. I just think he can make a similar impact for the offense.
You're not asking him to be running back 1.
You're not asking him to be that. And then even some of the I like the safety from LSU, Jacoby Stevens is like a late round pick. And,
I like Taron Jackson from Coastal Carolina. I thought he was good.
So I gave them an A-. Honestly, I was pretty impressed by the Philly.
Okay, Markel, what do you think?
I gave him a B, just because I like the Landon Dickerson pick, but I'm just kind of scared that the injury history there.
Yeah,
and even the Devontae Smith pick, like I know the kid's gonna be a baller, but it's just something about the size, man. It just kills me every time like I see his size.
I think you're definitely way too like hard on him for that, because like,
dude, I don't know, it's just something about it, bro. Like I just can't let go of it.
But here's my thing, right? So everybody was worried about Devonta Smith's size. Would you rather have somebody Devonta Smith's size, but doesn't get hurt, or somebody like Jalen Waddle with his height and weight, but he does get hurt? The guy hasn't given you a reason. Like you're saying, he's 166 pounds, but he hasn't shown you that he's like that.
And he plays.
And he's not like Jerry Jeudy, where he's like, as soon as he gets touched, he falls. He plays through contact.
Devontae Smith plays big. He takes hits. He doesn't drop the ball either. So I don't know.
He was my number 2 receiver. So
I'm
not worried about
Landon
in the 5th
round. They did get good value for Kenneth Gainwell. Like that's.
And I'm not worried about Landon Dickerson's injuries, honestly. So for me, this is a B+ class. I think you drafted 2 superstars, and so you have depth.
Markel gave him a B. I gave him an A-, so B+. This is definitely one of the Eagles' best draft class in the last couple of years. I don't think it's close. So they got a B-. Sorry, Markel, you were closer than we were.
Oh God.
This is going to be bad for me.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
What did I give them? Let's see. Oh yeah, sounds about right.
I'm giving them a B-.
Wait, who's your favorite pick from the Steelers?
Quincy Roche, round 6.
Quincy Roche easily. It's a steal in the 6th round.
Mine, Kendrick Green. But I do like Roche. I feel like Kendrick Green was like, that was like really good value, like right where he probably should have gone. and definitely need for them because Pouncey retired. I like Kendrick Green a lot. I'll start.
Not-
So I feel like they did make some like players who are going to make an impact. Obviously, you guys know my stance on running back in round one, so that's automatically like lowering the grade. But I do like Najee Harris. Like I do. It's just not what Pittsburgh needed for Ben. Like I know he's going to be. I think he's going to be decent as long as the offensive line is like somewhat better, which I don't see how. I don't see a huge improvement for their offensive line this year, so that's where I'm concerned for the Steelers. Just like looking, into the season, but I actually did like Pat Fryermuth or Firemouth, however you pronounce it. I
I
didn't
like
think
him as a player, but I don't like where they. I don't like them.
really where they took him. I mean, they took him like almost at the end of round, or yeah, toward the end of round two. I don't hate that. So it just
Creed Humphrey was on the board.
yeah, that's what I would have went for a
Yeah.
couple teams. So like that but we can knock a lot of teams for not taking him. So like I said, I give them a B minus. I feel like they did get like players who are going to make an impact. Like Roche is like a situational pass rusher. I feel like Kendrick Green's going to start right away at center or at guard, and Firemouth should start it. Obviously, tight end, and Najee Harris is going to be a starter. So I'm seeing like 3 definite starters and then 1 or 2 role players here.
Well, Kendrick Green has to start. Just their line is horrible. They have like no other choice.
No, but I actually like Green as a starter. So,
What'd you guys give this draft class?
This is
Again.
like C.
a B minus?
Wow.
Look, I'm not going to give them a C because they do have talented players here. I just wasn't a fan of. Again, I don't think it was best available at all, and that's how I like drafting.
Yep.
If you're in the C category, Markel, I just think the value that you get from Roche in the 6th round as an edge rusher, especially since using Bud Dupree.
You going Najee Harris at round 1.
I know. And then Fryermuth. Yeah, I get it.
Being on the board at that point, it's like, come on.
Where did you think? Where did you think Firemouth was going? I thought he was going round 2 the entire time.
I thought so as well, but like I just
so do
don't
I. But they have too many other needs to be addressing a tight end.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like the fact that like he went to the Steelers.
I get it, but that don't take away from like the talent what he is. Like they still have starting players.
No, I'm not saying the players are bad. I just don't like the picks. Like
I know, but
it doesn't do anything.
I'd still give it a B minus.
If you guys want to go,
I think a C is too harsh. I think a C is.
I think we have to round it now to a C plus. Right, because I gave him B minus. Peter gave him B minus. What did you give them, Markello?
I gave him a C, bro. Like guys,
Oh, yeah,
I think it was like good players, just not the right places and not the right team to be picking them.
What did PFF give them? I think PFF is going to rate them high just because they took probably like the best rated running back for them.
C.
Oh, C. Okay.
No, they did not rank him high.
I agree though, dude. Like you guys they took players like that are great players, but just like you have such other big needs to fill.
So San Francisco, I think we all would have changed our grades drastically if they took Mac Jones. So they traded all the way up for Mac Jones. I like the gamble for Trey Lance. Personally, I would have went Justin Fields, but I understand why they went Lance. So besides Lance, they did take a lot of running backs, which I was kind of surprised about. I like Trey Sermon. Not necessarily a need for them, but apparently, like the Niners usually do prioritize running back every single year, whether it's undrafted free agent or just signing players or just drafting players. They do seem to always take 1 or 2. I thought Aaron Banks was a little bit of a reach, but I'm not going to be that mad because interior offensive line was an issue for the Niners. So like to get like Banks is like a mammoth. He's massive, so I feel like he's definitely going to help in the run game and hopefully protect Garoppolo and Lance for the long term. I was a little bit surprised, like scheme fit wise. I don't know how well he moves, but once he gets his hands on you, Banks, you're not really going anywhere. So I'm giving them a B plus, and it's really just for Lance. And then I liked Elijah Mitchell like super late. Like I said, I like Trey Sermon. I just don't know why the Niners keep taking running backs every year. But
I mean, look, they all get a chance to play one game or two. So
yeah, they seem to find their way on the field. So I don't hate their draft class, and I don't love it. I like it, and if Trey Lance works, it doesn't matter because
I feel the same way. Like I'm giving a B. I love the Trey Lance pick, but then everything after that is just like okay. Like, they're good depth
I feel
pieces.
like Banks is going to be obviously a starter. It just feels like so. Yeah, I'll agree. I'll give them a B. But if Trey Lance works, it doesn't matter. They'll get a B.
I'm at a B. I'm at a B. Trey Lance, like you said, saves it. I actually had Aaron Banks ranked high in terms of my guards, interior offensive lineman, but I had that because of where I thought he was going to go. I thought he was going to fall and be like a 3rd or 4th round pick, and I would be like, that was crazy value for Aaron Banks. but because they did take him around 2, I don't know, that kind of leaves like a bad taste in my mouth that not that he's not a good player, because he is, but just had him projected going lower. So I thought he would be a steal. And then everybody's higher on Trey Sermon than I am. I didn't really like Trey Sermon, but I just believe in that running system. Anybody could be good in it. So as long as he could stay healthy, he's still going to find production somewhere for them.
Yeah.
So I think a B's fair.
Yeah, it's really just because of their aggressiveness to get a quarterback. That's why I also like it. I mean, I was sick of Jimmy Garoppolo for years, and then everyone else when he got injured, see all who was it last year, Mullins and Bethard. So they got a B too. So
Okay.
Oh, Seattle, I forgot they only had 3 draft picks. So this
is F for me.
Super super short. Yeah, I'm giving them a D. I'm gonna be a little bit more generous. Eskridge was a reach, but I feel like he can make a difference on this team. I feel like last year they kind of got figured out with Lockett and Metcalf. So I feel like Eskridge, I know he does go deep as well, but I feel like he'll add a little bit to the offense. I liked Eskridge better for Seattle than I like the Rams taking Tutu Atwell. But then again, Eskridge is 24, so I do very dislike taking players who are like already, I don't want to say like, maxed out, but like he's a 24-year-old rookie. So like obviously he was beating up on competition who are like 3 years younger than him. What really saves me besides Eskridge, I do feel like he'll play a pretty big role, is I actually really liked Stone. How do you pronounce his name? I feel like he was definitely like a round 4 pick. So, and for Seattle's offensive line, I feel like he could possibly start or be like.
All right, I won't be harsh if you like it. Like me personally, that's why I just didn't like any of these picks.
I gave them a D. I understand why you give them an F, because only 3 picks and you take Eskridge in round 2. But what
I'll let Keller decide then. If you want to give him in the D category, that's fine, because I don't want to be too harsh.
I gave him a D.
All right, that's fine. Give him a D.
I mean, are you guys considering Jamal Adams in this at all, or no?
No.
I mean, he was technically their first round pick this year.
They would have taken somebody who's a 4th round value anyway there.
Yeah, that's true. So at least they were like nice, short, and simple, 3 picks. So they got to see. All right, so not as harsh as we are. Tampa Bay, interesting draft for sure. I
only liked 1 pick.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. I gave them a C+. Like Tryon, I think, was not bad. Like they didn't, what we said, like they kind of addressed every need they had already through free agency. They signed back every single player. I don't feel like they got incredible value at all. Like I hate Kyle Trask. So like that's what's really weighing me down here. I know they're trying to find a quarterback, I guess, to groom under Brady, but don't feel like Trask is that at all. And I feel like, I know, end around 2, but I just don't, I feel like Trask should have gone on day 3 in my opinion. So that's like a huge reach for me. I actually really like Jalen Darden. I just don't like the team he went to, because he's going to be like the 6th wide receiver. I don't even know if he's going to make I'm sure he'll make the team because he was taken in round 4, but it's not necessarily a guarantee with Tampa Bay. And I liked Robert Hainsey from Notre Dame. That's like one of their weaknesses was definitely right guard last year, almost like the only weakness on the offensive line. So I like him. I like getting him there. And if Tryon works out as a situational pass rusher, that's why I'm giving them I give them a C+.
See, for me, I'm more C- just for the fact that like you could make a case for the players they took. Like they didn't take garbage players.
Yeah.
But nobody besides Tyron is going to see the field.
Hainsey could start at right guard, I think.
I don't know if they would start him. I don't think he's going to start coming week 1. I don't think he's going to be the starter. So I think besides Tyron, who's going to be a rotational edge rusher.
Then again, like I try to look at like future outlook. So not just past. I know Tampa Bay is different, but like if Hainsey's starter in a year or 2,
I'll give it a C. But I really don't like Kyle Trask at all.
Me neither. That's what weights it down for me. I hate Kyle Trask.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. They
like I'm happy Tampa
do much though. Like they're always picking at the end of every round. Like you know what I mean? So, I'm more in the boat of a C.
At least we didn't give a lot of D's or F's, so that's pretty good. They got a B- Tampa Bay, so we're near enough. So I think me and Peter are going to disagree on this one. So let's say what I like about Tennessee. I really liked Elijah Molden. That's one of my favorite picks in the draft in terms of value. The North Dakota State guy, I actually like too. Farley super concerning for me. Like if he hits, it's going to be a very good draft because like I'm seeing like 3 or 4 starters here. If he does not hit because of injury, which is I don't want to say it's 50-50, but it almost is. Like he has serious concerns about like it's not just like, oh, he got hurt and needs to come back 100%. We don't even know if he will be, but we understand the need. And Tennessee's not scared of taking like injury prone players or guys who've gotten injured, and it paid off for them in the past with Jeffrey Simmons. So we're going to see if this is like, that's really what depends on me. Like for Farley, if he's going to play, like if he plays 17 games a year or even like 15, I like their draft class. If he doesn't, like that brings the draft class like way lower for me. So right now I'm giving them a B minus, but this could easily be a B plus, A minus if Farley works out. But that's how concerned I am with Farley.
Markel, what do you think?
Damn man, the whole Farley thing, like I gave him a B minus for their overall.
And Rashad Weaver just got arrested. Like,
oh, did he really?
Yep.
Oh, that's tough. Now I got to change my grade. I had a B minus, but wow.
This is why I don't like when certain teams do this kind of stuff. You can't like just because someone got arrested, it's not on the team's fault. But like I feel like a lot of these teams don't do like background.
Yeah, I would say like, bro, you don't look into the guy you're like about to draft, like what his character like concerns might be. I mean, now with that coming out, like I like the Dylan Radins pick.
So did I.
Like the Elijah Molin pick as well. I mean, I like the Rashad Weaver pick before you told me he got arrested.
So I thought it was incredible value, and then I think I don't know what it was. I think it was like assault.
I mean, look, I'm gonna give him a C plus just because Farley is like a very big question mark to me. Like the guy can get hit the wrong way, and then his football career could be completely over.
So I differ from you guys. I gave them a B plus. I understand. Obviously, there's obvious concern for Farley, but I'm more on the optimistic side when it comes to him and his back issues. So, and I think he's going to be a top corner in the league if he's healthy, like in the whole league. I think he's going to be a top 5 corner in the whole league. Like lockdown, he's what you want. So, and then Radins, I think I had him ranked as like my 6th best offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Monty Rice, I had him. He wasn't in my top 5 linebackers, but he's a good linebacker, right? Round 3 value. I think that was fair, like draft position. Elijah Molden, you went over. I even like the Des Fitzpatrick pick for them and for their receiving core and what they need now. Losing Corey Davis, not having Adam Humphries anymore. I think they need it. And then Rashad Weaver, I thought was phenomenal. Again, value in round 4, but with the arrest thing, I don't know how that's going to go, but he's going to be on the team.
Like they did take talented players. That's the thing. Like this is not a bad draft class. It's just really all about like injuries, honestly.
Yeah, so for me, I rank it again, but just I think the first 2 picks were home run picks, and then I love the depth that followed. So for me, it's an easy B plus, regardless of injury. For Farley,
we'll round it up. We'll give him a B minus. Markel, you gave him what, a C plus?
I give him a C plus after you told me that guy got arrested.
But your initial grade was a B minus?
It was a B minus, yeah.
We'll give him a B minus. We'll be generous, Tennessee. And the Washington football team, they got an A for PFF for Tennessee, which I understand. It's like just based on the players.
I get it too. I'm not mad at that one.
The Washington football team.
I like their draft.
Yeah, so Damon Davis was a little bit of a surprise, but funny enough, on I was telling Peter this on our 1.0 or 2.0, this is the player that I was talking about for Washington that they met with like 3 or 4 times. It was almost like not really a secret that they loved this guy. Now I thought it was going to be round 2, but clearly they loved him enough to take him at 19. So a little bit of a reach, but I do like the player and clearly a need for Washington. Like great defense already, but the one really issue, the defense was definitely like inside linebacker. Cosme in round 2 is, I think, really good value. And it was like kind of toward the back half of round 2, just past the midway point. Definitely a player who was like possibly round 1, early round 2, and in need. Obviously, Washington's offensive line is not perfect. And my favorite pick for them is De'Ami Brown. He was one of my favorite wide receivers in the entire draft. Absolutely love that value in round 3. And I like adding that for their wide receiving core now with like Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, and De'Ami Brown. I feel like it's going to be really tough to stop them on offense. So I gave them a B plus.
I have them as B plus as well. I like the Cosme pick in the 2nd round. I think that was great. The De'Ami Brown round 3. But who else did they get? I'm not
Uh,
gonna lie to you. I don't know any of their 7th round picks.
no, I know Dax because obviously BYU. So I watched a lot
Okay.
of Wilson. He was actually pretty good. For like a 7th round pick, he might actually make the team. I don't think he's gonna be like a number. I don't think he's ever gonna start, but as a 5th or 6th option, I don't think he's bad. So, and I actually like Tony from Penn State. I feel like that was incredible. Like just to take the flyer on him, like the athleticism is there. So if he's even like a situational pass rusher in round 7, that's a win for me.
I give them a B. My favorite pick was Donnie Brown,
Yeah.
North Carolina. Again, Jamin Davis for me was a reach. I liked other linebacker. Obviously, I would have taken JOK. We didn't know about the injury history though.
Yeah.
Samuel Cosme. Again, like I think he was a round 2 talent, so I'm not going to knock them for the pick, but I did like other tackles.
But
So they got quality players.
Or no?
What happened?
You think he's gonna kick inside a guard, or you think he's playing tackle at Washington?
I think he could play tackle.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I think he play tackle. So that's why I'm giving them a B. I just again, I'm not an NFL GM. I'm not in the scouting department, so obviously they took who they took. I liked other players at that position that they would take. Let's say a linebacker, corner, right, round 3.
Yeah.
So Benjamin St. Juste, I liked other corners, but it doesn't mean they didn't get quality players. I just would have went elsewhere. So for me, it's a B.
Okay. So I think most of our teams had Bs, right? No, wait, hold on. Okay. So obviously, that's all 32 teams. Just looking at it before we end, is there any like team that you don't really love being in the category, Peter?
Yes, Jacksonville. I'd like to appeal and put them in the A category because they had an A draft.
I think you're gonna be overruled here. I mean, Markello.
Yeah, buddy.
Come on, like they had a better draft than everybody else in the B category.
I don't agree. I feel like I'm really high on the Vikings, and I think Philly.
I'm higher on New England than I am Minnesota. I'm high on the Chargers.
Yeah, you can convince me New England could be the team that deserves an A.
But I think Jacksonville had a better draft than New England.
I mean, I don't agree with that. Just other than Trevor Lawrence, which of course is a huge pick.
I don't think I've ever rooted for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have for Gardner Minshew. But this will be another reason why I root for Jacksonville.
Just because I like the different elements to our grades. Like it's not just like outside of the 4 on the bottom. I feel like most people did decently well in this draft class. And we have different levels to B. Not every B is actually a B.
Yeah, this is the B pluses, the B minuses.
Yeah, like the Jaguars would be like a B plus area.
Yeah, like B plus. And there's some here that are like B minuses or just Bs.
Like look at the A tier, Peter, and Jacksonville's drafts like don't match up with the A tier.
I personally think they do.
I think Jacksonville's draft class could be better than Miami's, in my opinion. I wasn't as high as Miami as you guys were, but I understand why you would be because like they're having like 4 to 5 starters. But
then so did Jacksonville.
Yeah, I know, but I agree a little bit differently than you guys do. I'm looking at like not just starters, but are they actually good starters in the future?
I think Jacksonville could draft a good starters for the future.
No, I mean Trevor Lawrence is going to be.
But I'm saying besides Lawrence, everybody else they took after him.
Well, we're not sure yet. I mean, Tyson.
Look, the thing that brought you guys down from Jacksonville was the ETN pick.
Yeah. Also,
you had tackles, you had safeties, you had Greg Newsome on the board.
But they took again. I like the tackle they took. You guys don't, and they also took.
No, that's a lie.
No, that's not true. I like Walker Little as well. I'm just saying, like you're in a position where you didn't even have to take Tyson Campbell. You could have taken Greg Newsome.
Greg Newsome wasn't there.
Or was it picked before?
Greg Newsome went in the first round to Cleveland.
No, but he was for the ETN pick. He was
but that's what I'm saying. He was there for the ETN pick. You could have not taken ETN.
Yeah, I agree, Mark. Greg Newsome was so much. He was my first, second ranked corner. He was so much better than Campbell.
I do like Newsome, but I don't hate. I'm not saying I love taking a running back in the first round, but I don't hate taking ETN to pair him up with Lawrence.
I don't know. But like,
it's all right. I'll be rooting for Jacksonville this year. I'll be alone.
I do not know.
Thank you guys for joining us. Maybe we'll do like the
schedule release
comes out, like the schedule, just the whole breakdown. If you guys want to do like the season predictions. I don't know when we'll do that, but like we'll do that soon.
We could do like division winners, or like we'll take like we'll cover both New York teams. We'll go through both New York team schedules. If you guys want to throw me a bone, we'll go through the Saints.
All right, guys, sounds good.
All right.
We'll see you next week then.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, guys.